All right, got a crash blocking the left shoulder 40 westbound past Briley Parkway over near the airport. In Hermitage, a crash, Old Hickory Boulevard at Lebanon Pike, Jolton, Eaton's Creek Road and Rawlings Road. And then in Smyrna, got some police activity on the left shoulder, 24 westbound before Almaville Road. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, boys and girls. Welcome in. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show underway for another day. Happy to have you with us. It's about 6 minutes past 3 o'clock. Good afternoon to all of you. Hope everyone's doing well so far, avoiding the raindrops. There is rain in the area, and rain continues in the forecast throughout the course of the evening and into the night, and we'll tell you a little about that as the program progresses. We've got 4 full hours of talk radio excellence, or what I hope to be, on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is a Thursday, June 18 edition in the year of our Lord, 2026. Thank you for being with us. Let me get the pleasantries out of the way, introduce the players of the show, and get things lumbering under our own weight. We're on TuneIn, Spotify, iHeart. Those are 3 of the multitude of apps that we find ourselves on, or applications, if you will. We have our own. You can download us at Supertalk 99.7 WTN and take us wherever you'd like to go. You can also find us on the radio dial. Many of you choose to do it that way, especially if you're in your automobiles, and we thank you. From Kentucky to Alabama and all points in between. And then, of course, there's Talk TV, up and running. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. You're invited to be a part of Talk TV. Hey, Ken, I have not checked on this lately.
What is that, Brother Murphy?
Ken Weaver is on top of the pricing on Talk TV. How much is it costing these folks to like and subscribe on Talk TV?
Absolutely nothing, boys. Yeah.
So we've doubled our prices. There you go. So double what it used to cost, which is still nothing on Talk Television. Just like, subscribe, and help us out with the digital platform, if you will. Ken Weaver?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Brother Murphy.
The old Oklahoma Sooners whooped up on my beloved Georgia Bulldogs. It's my understanding, Ken,
yes,
and
sir.
I was telling you a little bit about this before the show. It's my understanding that in the spirit of SEC camaraderie, in the spirit of friendly unity, because I like Oklahoma. Oklahoma's a fine state. Oklahoma thinks Georgia's a fine state. And so it's my understanding, it was agreed upon, hey, one of us can win this College World Series, and one of us can win that football game in September. And Georgia said, we'll just go ahead and give you fellas the College World Series. How about that? Y'all live up to your end of the bargain in September, Ken.
I don't like that deal, Brother Murphy. They got to win that game down there.
That deal that I'm talking about reminds me a little of this Iranian deal, but more on that later. Oh my God, I got beat up.
Dude, we have just caught fire at the right time.
Y'all have. I mean, let me tell you, cool. I mean, our bats cooled down. We had one great, what was it? The bottom of the 6th, I guess it was the bottom of the 6th or bottom of the 7th.
Right.
We had one great opportunity. There were bases loaded, 2 outs, and I'm like, 1 base hit, and we're right back into this deal.
Oh, yes.
And y'all got out of that inning just allowing the 1 run. So, I mean, I'm rooting for you, buddy. I'm rooting for I'm an Oklahoma Sooner man because I want the SEC to win the College World Series. How about that?
Absolutely. I'm a conference guy.
Yeah,
I was a Big 12 conference guy, even though everybody in the Big 12 absolutely hated our guts.
You you a conference guy if it's Texas?
I
mean, I'm a conference guy unless it's Bama or Florida. Or kind of Tennessee. But you know what? I like Tennessee now that I'm in Tennessee. Yeah.
I think we've let Texas up to breathe long enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say that.
Okay. All I know is if the Florida Gators are playing the Saddam Husseins, go Saddam. I mean, come on, y'all. You gotta have a certain floor level of standards.
Right.
Anyway, that's that.
Floor level of standards.
You know what? You gotta have a floor. You gotta and guess who's in the basement? The Florida Gators are in the basement.
Dude, is it the
with their
Gators
jean shorts,
or is it their fans? That's the thing.
You know what? I think it goes hand in hand, Ken. I think they make you take a test. When you're 4 years old, they put some jean shorts on you and a wife beater and a gold chain. Oh, he looks good. You're a gator. Chomp, chomp. Ugh. Those gators. Is there anything worse? I mean, honestly, guys. Is there anything worse than a Florida Gator fan?
Those Gator fans, boy. Whew. Even when they're not good, they're mouthy.
Well, see, the Cubs folks, they were such lovable losers for so long, RJ. I mean, I hear you. By the way, RJ, behind the glass, making sure RJ's here.
Yeah, Jackson's on the run today.
Yeah, Jackson, in the absence of young Jackson Williams, who is obviously preparing for the big toast tomorrow night. Last thing I said to Jackson, don't blow it. I was in the parking lot, and he was up on the veranda. I was like, don't blow it. I mean, I would think he would be ready and prepared for this. I mean, he talks on a 100,000-watt radio station every day, right? So
yeah, he talks on the radio like this.
RJ laying strays down.
He is, man.
Jackson's catching strays. That's pretty. I like to tell people that young Jackson is what a Southern grandma would sound like if they were in a 26-year-old man's body. Shut up, Matt Murphy. You hush your mouth. Well, RJ, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for everything that you do behind the glass. RJ's working hard. Jay St. Clair will be here as well.
All right.
In the 4 o'clock hour for a little bit of Fri-Jay on Thursday.
Yes, sir.
For we shall not be here tomorrow. Several of you have asked me about this, and so I will say it. If anybody asks again, I'll say it again. I was not planning on taking tomorrow off. I don't take all the holidays off. I wasn't planning on taking tomorrow off, and I was just going to bank the day, but I was told that I had to. So
yep.
That's...
Yeah, Brother Paul, he just said everybody just take the day off.
Everybody's taking the day off. It's Juneteenth is a company-wide holiday.
Yes, sir.
Right, I forgot about that one.
And so because of that, I've traditionally not taken the day. And it's central, mainly it's more than anything because July 4th is right around the corner. And I mean, I don't like to stack them like that, but we will be off tomorrow, best of programming tomorrow, depending on your perspective, best of or middle of the road or worst of. I don't know. But hopefully you'll enjoy that. We'll be back on Monday. So once again, Ken and I were planning on being here, y'all.
We were going to be here.
Now, Ken wasn't going to be here next week.
Not next week.
I'm just learning about this. What are you?
I told you about
where are you planning on going, Ken? Are you saying?
Well, I got a buddy who's got a beach house down off South Carolina Surfside. And he's gonna let us stay down there for a week.
Dang right he is.
And I mean, I said, dude, thank you.
Okay, hold on, I got my pen. What's the address over there? Go ahead and get on over there. That's nice, man.
Oh yes,
that's awesome. So you get over there to North Carolina quite a bit, right?
Yes, North Carolina Beach is where we usually go, and I love that beach because there's not a lot of riffraff. It's a lot of families over there at North Carolina Beach. You know what I mean? And there's other fat guys without their shirts on.
I just love the image you put in my head of Ken Weaver in a little lounge chair on the beach going, look at all this riffraff. What
are they doing?
The heck are they doing? What, are they digging sex holes? What are they doing? You remember my story about the Orange Beach sex holes, right?
Yes, I do.
They banned, for those who missed it, I've decided that if I ever start a punk band, the band name will be Orange Beach Sex Hole. When I was in Alabama, in Orange Beach, Alabama, they made a rule one summer that you could no longer dig holes on the beach.
Banned it.
They banned hole digging.
Made it illegal.
And I asked the mayor of Orange Beach, I had him on the show, I was like, why are y'all banning the digging of holes on the beach? And he said, well, Matt, unfortunately, during spring break, several spring breakers were found to be digging holes, getting inside of the holes, and having sex. I was like, well, my goodness. He said, I said, so you're telling me you've got to stop those sex holes?
Yeah.
He goes, well, they're also drinking down there. I was like, well,
It's not just that, they're drinking too.
Hand in hand. So, yeah, Ken Weaver would describe that as the riffraff, ruining it for everybody.
Riffraff.
That is 100% the riffraff.
That is the riffraff.
Y'all just learn how to act.
That's right.
Clean up your trash when you leave.
Yes. Don't just bury it in the sand.
If things happen. If you're throwing a little football on the beach and your football sails away and you get a little dirt you get some sand blowing on another person, just walk over and go, hey, sorry about that, and go on your business.
And you know what? That doesn't even bother me. I mean, it's just, some places down there, you just get riffraff. You know what I'm talking about. All of a sudden, you got 20 or 30 people fighting.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because riffraff don't know how to act, and they drink too much.
Yes.
The riffraff don't know how to hold their liquor, and they don't know how to act. So you're in South Carolina, though.
South Carolina, yes.
That's nice. Well, I don't have to tell you that. And where do Tennessee folk go?
They go down to 30A.
Yeah. So do Tennessee people still go to the Gulf?
I believe so.
I would guess so.
Yeah.
Because if you live in Alabama for 20 years like I did, we always went to the Gulf. The Gulf, no offense, I lived in just outside of Augusta, Georgia, in Thompson, Thomson, no P, in Thompson.
Yes, sir.
All of my youth. And so we always went to the Atlantic Ocean. So I grew up on the Atlantic Ocean. I did not experience the Gulf of Mexico until I was probably 22 years old. And I'm like, wow, well, this is different. It's different.
Yes.
The surf is different, and the water is completely different.
Yes.
Matt, we're supposed to call it the Gulf of America now.
Oh, pardon me, Gulf of America. Very good, RJ.
That's right, brother RJ.
That's a good catch. You're right. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, Brother Brian Wilson had a nice house down there at 30A, boy.
Did he? Oh, man.
He had a nice. I can't believe they sold that house.
They sold it.
Yeah, they sold it.
That's unfortunate because I need somebody to help me out with a house on 30A. I mean, for a week-long vacay.
Yes.
Like Ken Weaver. I need friends like Ken Weaver's got.
Yeah, I got some good friends, man.
Gulf of America. Okay, yes, Gulf of America. RJ's already corrected me. I'm sorry. Good gracious alive. One day I have a mild disagreement with Donald Trump. The next day I'm calling it the Gulf of Mexico again. My goodness gracious, what's going to happen? Be a flaming liberal before you know it. For the end, and I'm taking Juneteenth off. Look, Juneteenth is. I find I just it's not my holiday necessarily to celebrate. Outside of the fact that I'm glad that we don't no longer have slavery
Yes, sir.
in the United States of America. I'm happy for that.
Yes, sir.
I'm happy that we're not enslaving fellow human beings, and you should be happy about that as well. Whether we needed another federal holiday is, another matter of contention. So, whatever. All right, we've got an update on the Iranian deal. J.D. Vance is pushing back on those of us who are perhaps criticizing some of the details of the arrangement, although this is the same J.D. Vance that was on Hannity's show 2 days ago saying all of these details are wrong, and then the details came out and they were exactly what we had 2 days ago, right? So, and now they're saying, well, this is just a memorandum of understanding. This is just an outline. You haven't seen all of the fine print just yet. Okay, I'm willing to wait for the fine print. I'm good with that. Let's go. I am willing to give as we comment on these things, as these things come up, because that is what we do. We are the electronic public square, friends. And so we only have the information that we have, and we comment on the information that we have. And then when we get additional information, we add that into the big stew, we mix it up, and we see what comes out of it. So I find it fascinating the number of you guys, some of you, in the audience yesterday that were angry at me for talking about the Iranian deal. Because it has not come to a final version or fruition yet. And I think mostly you weren't angry at me. You were angry at the situation. And I think it's fair to be angry at the situation. And this is my assessment of it. Donald Trump went into this with the best of intentions. Donald Trump, I think, truly believed, and this is my take on it, and others might have a different take on it. I think Donald Trump truly believed. If you consider what he was able to do for the Middle East, the Abraham Accords, what he was able to do for the Middle East in terms of moving our embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, something that every president said they wanted to do. And, you can't do that. There will be all this unrest. And there was never any unrest when Donald Trump did it. All of these things, all of these ways that he brought some of these Muslim countries together and at least got them a little friendlier with our friend in the region. Israel is still a friendly nation to us in the region. I think Donald Trump came together and thought, well, if we can eliminate the threat that the Iranians pose, if we can stop the funneling of money through Iran based on oil sales into the hands of dangerous terrorists, that is a win. Plus, if we can guarantee that they won't achieve a nuclear weapon in the long term, that is an additional win. Let's go. And many people surrounding him, very, very smart people surrounding him, said this will be a 6 to 8 week operation. It didn't turn out that way. And that is not an anti-Trump sentiment to say that it didn't turn out that way. It didn't. It didn't turn out. There was always concerns that it wouldn't turn out. And war is a tricky thing. There's a lot of moving parts. Now, can we still achieve a victory in the sense of, guaranteeing that there are certain levels of checks and balances against the Iranians attempting to get enriched uranium that would move them closer to a nuclear weapon? Of course we can. There are still opportunities to move the goalposts to a certain degree in our favor and in the favor of stability in that region. So all is obviously not lost in any sense of the word. We have spent a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of toil, a lot of treasure in this effort, and you want to try to get something out of it. Remains to be seen what that might be. J.D. Vance pushing back not only against some who have been against this from the beginning, but pushing back against a few of our allies in the region. A little audio video here, RJ. Oh, wait, that's on me, RJ. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, Matt, don't blame your producers.
Hey, hold on a second. I don't think that is on me. You got me, I got double, yeah, it is on you. You got to mute yourself. You got to mute me over there. You got me muted? There we go. Here's JD Vance. You
can blame me that time.
All right, that's good. I like that. All right, I'm 1-0. You're 0-1. Here's JD Vance. Well, I'll tell you what. In the spirit of timing, let's wait on the JD Vance audio video for just a moment. 2, Patty is in Nashville. She's already calling in. It is a First Amendment Freestyle Friday on Thursday. That means call in about any subject matter of your choosing. I do not plan on talking about Iran for any length of time because I do not believe that there's new information to talk about. And I also believe that, frankly, the listening audience is tired of discussing the Iranian deal. I think that's fair. Now, if you want to bring it up, you're welcome. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. I got some great news out of Wisconsin. I got some pretty good news out of York, Pennsylvania. We've got the ringleader of the UFC Freedom Plot. Hold everything. He's an illegal alien? No! Perish the thought. We've got that story coming up. Your calls, Fri-Jay, big show, 22 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and I want to talk to you for a moment about the Glock Store. The Glock Store open house that happened a little over a couple of weeks ago was just fabulous. I'm still getting over it. I mean, thousands of people at the Glock Store and thousands of dollars of giveaways. Well, now, Father's Day is upon us, and if you've not made a decision about what to get Dad, I'm going to make that real simple for you. All you have to do is go over to the Glock Store on Airlane Drive. That's just off of Elm Hill Pike. And you walk through the doors and you say, hey, I need a gift card from the Glock Store, and they'll give you one. They have available for you something for Dad at the Glock Store, and you don't have to figure out exactly what Dad might want. What you have to do is just get him a nice gift card, an amount of your choosing, and off you go, and Dad can figure it out for himself, whether it's ammo, whether it's accessories, whether it's clothing items, whether it's maybe a one-on-one training session with a private shooting room and a professional instructor from Shoot270.com. Each room features multiple full-size targets that can be moved. No two sessions are ever the same. Dad can train for real-life situations and simulations. Basically, every time you finish, you are a more accurate, more proficient shooter, whether it's your first or your 50th session, and that's guaranteed. Go to Shoot270.com or Glockstore.com, or better yet, stop by the one and only Glock store on Airlane Drive. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to the Glock store. Hi, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Accurate Mortgage. We're hearing mortgage rates fluctuating. You get it. I mean, I understand that we looked earlier in the week about the possibility of interest rates going down, but interest rates are lower than their highs over the past couple of years, which is perhaps leading you toward a home purchase. I know I did. I purchased a home in January. Absolutely loved Accurate Mortgage and the way that I was treated, the way my family was treated. Unlike the big online lenders to Accurate Mortgage, they don't just do a loan because you're a number and they just process you and whatever spits out, spits out. They never advise you to make a loan that doesn't make sense for you financially, whether it is a home purchase. Maybe you're thinking about renovating your current home. Perhaps you want to pay off some high-interest credit card debt, so you're doing a little refi there. Let the loan advisors at Accurate Mortgage help you find the right loan solution for you, and you know you're getting honest, trustworthy advice from Accurate Mortgage. Call Mike or one of his teammates at Accurate Mortgage today. Start that journey at AccurateMTG.com. That's AccurateMTG.com. Accurate Mortgage and MLS 129944. Rates and terms subject to change. Equal housing lender.
U.S. Supreme Court siding with a marijuana user in a unanimous decision. This story and more coming up at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm just very confused.
I had a message from Jackson. He said I had to legally play that every time you mention Tennessee.
Oh. What? Why? Jackson needs to concern himself with his speech that he's going to bomb tomorrow night.
Is that what he's been? He's been nervous.
He's nervous, and you know what? Paying no attention to the show. And you know what? I'm just going to go and peel this curtain back, Ken.
Okay.
And RJ paid no attention to the show yesterday. And every time I caught him at it, he's like, what are you doing? I got 3 text threads about this stupid wedding. That's what he said. And I'm like, what would you let him know that you're not going to be able to go to the wedding because you won't be able to afford gas because you're going to be fired? And then, Jackson said that would be a blessing, so I can't really threaten him in that way. So, there you go. I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood to fight. I think I am. I think I'm in fighting mood. For example, 3618 has written in. I get it. It's Gulf of America. I'm sorry. A lot of you are reminding me of that. RJ's already done that. RJ took care of it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, RJ. 3618 says, child support is slavery. I'm a slave in my own country. Please say more about who forced you to have sexual relations and have a baby. Please. I'm here for that. Like, look, I don't pretend that child support isn't a burden on fellas that have to pay it. And for the most part, it is fellas that have to pay child support. Make no bones about it. But, you're the one that's dipping your quill in the ink, So whatever gets written after that is up to you. That's what I would say about that. So if you think child support is slavery, maybe it'll teach you to keep it in your britches next time. 615-737-9986. It's 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Everyone in Middle Tennessee is under at least a level 1 out of 5 risk of severe weather. It is higher east and northeast of Nashville at a level 2. It looks like this could happen between now and 9 o'clock tonight. We've got an eye on it for you. Already, there has been some showers out there. Some of them heavy, but no storms. Got the full forecast, another traffic update here in 5 minutes. In our nation's capital today, the U.S. Supreme Court sided with a marijuana user in a unanimous decision. The justices ruled the government cannot automatically ban someone from owning a gun simply for using cannabis. The case involved a Texas man prosecuted under a decades-old federal law involving the illegal use of controlled substances. The court says marijuana use alone is not enough to strip away Second Amendment rights, but it does not eliminate federal restriction. Vice President Vance appearing in the White House briefing room to take reporters' questions about the U.S. agreement with Iran, which Vance says is now in effect. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has more from the White House.
Critics of the deal say Iran has demonstrated its ability to force concessions from the U.S. by putting the global economy in a vice. But Vice President Vance describes the agreement as a win-win.
Their military and their nuclear program is still destroyed.
Vance told reporters here that Iran will only derive financial benefits from the deal if it abandons its nuclear ambitions and stops funding terrorism. But the deal already has the U.S. lifting its blockade and sanctions, allowing Iran to sell its oil. Still, Vance insists,
we have them in an economic chokehold right now that we're not going to release until they fundamentally change their behavior.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, the White House.
Well, the head of Apple is warning you their products could soon be taking a bigger bite out of your wallet, says ABC's Sophie Flay.
CEO Tim Cook says customers should expect price hikes, telling the Wall Street Journal they're unavoidable. Cook did not say when the increases will take place or on which products they'll affect, but he did tell the Journal the upcoming price hikes are being caused by an ongoing shortage of memory and storage chips.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Woodbine got a crash, 440 eastbound past Nolensville Pike. In Hermitage, a crash, Old Hickory Boulevard at Lebanon Pike. Whites Creek, a wreck, Whites Creek Pike, just south of Briley Parkway. It is stop and go, bumper to bumper, eastbound 440 over to 24, eastbound 24 from 440, and then the northbound 65, that's northbound 65 up to the northern split. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for King & Associates Insurance. If you're thinking about getting a new insurance for your homeowners or your automobile, I would encourage you to make the first call, King & Associates, because they're so good. I think they'll be your last. Whether you're a first-time homeowner or a growing family shopping for better automobile rates, they make it simple. They do not push you into any deal. And as a matter of fact, they're just as pleasant as you can imagine. Emery and his team, they're so good. Honest advice, personalized service, policies that make sense. They do not work for an insurance company. They work for you. That's important. As an independent insurance company at King & Associates Insurance, they work for you, not for the big boy insurance companies, meaning that they don't direct you in any particular way. They just find the best rates for you. You're their client. 329-8121 is the telephone number. 329-8121 or online at kinginsurance.com. kinginsurance.com. King & Associates Insurance. Call them today. They're protecting what matters most. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Just pull up the audio there. I mean, rather the video there. Share my screen, would you? That is a listener supported. I don't know if Ken Weaver can see it or not, but that is a listener supported meme of what we are visualizing Ken Weaver will look like on the beaches in South Carolina. And there's Weaver looking very skinny, Ken.
All right.
Without a shirt on.
Am I tall?
I can't tell if you're tall or not, but you got that beard flowing down the chest, and you're sitting there in your lounger, and it says, "Look at all this riffraff."
Got to be careful, Matt. There are wives on this stream.
There you go. There you go.
You got to stay out of that riffraff.
You know what? Keep away from the riffraff.
I used to be the riffraff.
Me too. I was a riffraff.
I was right in the heart of it, boy.
I feel like every time I have to deal with the riffraff,
right?
That's just karma coming right back on me.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you remember that crap you did when you were in your 20s, half drunk? Giddy up. Good luck. That's funny. That is funny. And thank you, 1905.
Yes.
Because that's good. I like it. 615-737-9986 if you'd like to be a part of this show. J.D. Vance earlier today had a few things to say, a lot to say at a press conference involving the Iranian deal. I just want to share a little bit of that with you. As J.D. has said, he doesn't care for how some of the Israelis are reacting to what they believe is the best deal possible.
I saw the Axios report, that Netanyahu is fuming. That's not reflective of the conversations that I've had with him, but maybe he's saying something to somebody else that he's not saying to me. What I will say, and this does bother me, is that you've seen people within Bibi's cabinet who have come out and attacked the deal and in some ways very personally attacked the President of the United States. And I guess my message to them would be twofold. Number one, Donald J. Trump is the only head of state in the entire world who is sympathetic to the nation of Israel at this moment in time. And he happens to be the head of state of the world superpower. If I was in the cabinet of the Israeli government, I might not be attacking the only powerful ally that I have anywhere left in the entire world.
Amen.
And the second message I would give to some of those cabinet members, Bibi, to his credit, has not gone down this path, but to some of these cabinet members in Israel who are attacking the President of the United States, the other thing that I would say is that over the last 3 months, 2/3 of the defensive weapons that have protected your homeland have been built by American hands and paid for by American tax dollars. The problem for Israel is not Donald J. Trump. And anybody in Israel who thinks their biggest problem is the President of the United States needs to wake up and smell the reality of the situation that country is in. Thank you all.
That was the final comments made by J.D. Vance. He had a lengthy visit with the assembled press in the White House press briefing room earlier today, discussing the Iranian deal, attempting to correct what they consider to be errors in reporting regarding the memorandum of understanding, and secondarily following up in their belief that all of the checks are in place, that the Iranians have to meet those checks before any of their money will be released to them or any other fund or foundational monetary disclosure will come about. I will follow up and say that I agree completely with what J.D. Vance has just said. A simple thank you will suffice. Otherwise, Israel, if you want to go on this alone, by all means, do so without American money and do so without American arms, and see how far that gets you. I mean, I'm not suggesting that we abandon our relationship. I've long said that we should abandon the financial ties to every foreign nation in the world. Let me reset that by saying even our biggest allies need to stop sucking away money from the American government as we are $40 trillion in debt. I defy you to tell me an alliance that is more important than paying down our national debt. I defy you to tell me of an alliance that is more important than stopping adding to the national debt through deficit spending. I'm on record as saying that I do not believe, I try to deal in reality here on the radio show, I do not believe for a second that we're ever going to pay down our national debt. The best that we can hope for is to stop adding to it. Let me say that one more time. For those of you in Aniana, we are $40 trillion in debt. It is a number that is difficult for most of us to imagine. We could spend the next hour providing ways for us to grasp the sheer amount of that money. In 2024, you want to know how much we added to it in 2024? $1.8 trillion in 2024. 2025 hasn't been much better either. 2026 isn't going to be much better either. We should take an American first approach when it comes to financial aid for foreign nations and minimize the amount of money that we are sending out to foreign nations, instead efforting to stop adding to the national debt. And this stuff is growing like a hockey stick and nobody seems to care. Maybe I'm the only one that cares. The greatest existential threat to the United States of America is not from China, not from Middle Eastern nations, not from Iran, it's from ourselves. Our inability to stop spending fake money is our greatest existential threat in the United States of America. And so I would argue that while the Israelis ought to be a little more grateful that we are working in concert with them to end the threat, best case and, most polite way to say it, and I know many of you are like, oh, Israel is dictating how all of this goes. The last 48 hours indicates that you're wrong, that Donald Trump is not taking his marching orders from Bibi or anybody else. He is doing perhaps what he believes is best in concert with the state of Israel, but we act by ourselves and we act in our own interest, even if the state of Israel doesn't like it, and this is evidence of that. And the state of Israel doesn't seem to like it. And frankly, as J.D. Vance was reflecting in his tone, if not his words, I don't like the fact that they're not very grateful about what we have done for them. Is that fair? I would think that our friends in that region would be a little more grateful for the love that we have shown them over the years. But there comes a time where we've got to do our own business and take care of our own business. And frankly, I think that time has perhaps even passed. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. $40 trillion in debt equals one Elon Musk or 182 Mark Zuckerbergs. Thereabouts. I don't know what SpaceX is trading at today. Scott says, I read something today that said we're going to give money to 173 out of 190 countries in the world, and that is simply disgusting. It is disgusting. Why in the world we continue to do this is beyond me. I mean, I understand that it will be... I don't believe that we can cut off the spigot immediately. I mean, I understand that would upset world economics and, by extension, upset American economics. But we should certainly slow down the flood of money that goes out of this country into other countries, especially when we are... it's just beyond me why we do this. Why are we doing that? We don't have any money anymore. Why are we pretending that we have money that we don't have and we give that money to other countries? It's beyond me. And this is not just about Israel. Like the super texter said, it's about 173 out of 190 countries. I don't know if it's that many, but it wouldn't surprise me. Robert writes in and says, I've always wondered, who do we owe all of this money to? Well, it's treasury bonds for the most part. And those treasury bonds have to roll over, and you have to sell new treasury bonds as other treasury bonds expire. And many different types of entities buy these treasury bonds. We buy them ourselves, mutual funds and the like. You have other nations. I think Japan owns more treasury bonds than any other nation in the world. China owns some. We owe this money ultimately to ourselves. If we borrow money and don't keep a paper trail and ultimately pay interest on the money borrowed, then it devalues the dollar to the point where we will see total and complete economic collapse. That's the easiest way to put it, Robert. Now, I don't pretend to be an economist, but I understand that basic economic principle that if you do not honor your debts, then you are devaluing the currency that you're using to pay them, and by extension, you're making the dollar worthless, or you're certainly moving in that direction. Does that make sense to everyone? I hope so. 615-737-9986. Robert is next up. Hello, Robert. How are you?
Hello?
Hello? Hello, Robert. I guess not. Going once. Going twice. Sold. Meanwhile, Social Security is running out of money. That's true. Social Security is running out of money. Look, it's an ongoing theme for me, and I was just inspired by the comments by J.D. Vance. I mean, J.D. Vance doesn't seem to like that there's somewhat of a lack of appreciation within the cabinet of Benjamin Netanyahu, and I can understand that because a lot of this has gone to the great benefit of the nation of Israel. Secondarily, in that response, embedded in that response, is the idea that we're spending so much money securing that nation state when we ought to be spending that money a little closer to home. And I would hope that will be the case moving forward. Let's be clear about this. Donald Trump's done a lot of great things for the United States of America, make no bones about it. I voted for him 6 times. Donald Trump's not a fiscal conservative, not even close. If you look at our national debt and how it has gone up since, pick a day, 2000 if you want to pick it. I mean, I could go over the numbers for you. They are dramatic. It's a little bit frightening that we don't seem to care. It's a little bit frightening that we don't seem to care to send people to Washington, D.C. that will do anything about it. It's frightening that we aren't grown enough as a population to be able to hear the message that needs to be sent loud and clear to the American people. And that is, regardless of what you think the government ought to be doing for you, regardless of whatever goodies you want from the government, regardless of whatever entitlements you want from the government, you're going to get nothing, and you have to like it. You have to stop eating ice cream and start eating your veggies. Otherwise, you will die fat and unhappy as a nation. That's just the way that it is. It is 10 till the top of the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Craft Body Scan. Craft Body Scan is incredible. I recommend them to all of you in the listening audience, but I want to talk particularly to you ladies. Ladies, you got to make this call. You got to make this decision for your fella. The couple's heart and lung scan does a number of things. Number one, it gets you in there to make sure that your heart, your lungs, everything's working well. It also introduces you to the incredible CT scan technology that is Craft Body Scan, but it also gets your fella in there. And you just tell him, hey, we're going to Craft Body Scan on this day at this time, and he'll go, okay, because you told him to. And then he gets in there and we check out his heart and lungs and make sure that everything's going well for him, because guys are a little more susceptible to some of these issues than the ladies are out there, and we are less likely to go to the doctor. That's what this is all about, getting in front of any health issue that you might have or giving you peace of mind. TogetherWeScan.com, promo code MATT50. TogetherWeScan.com, promo code MATT50 for Craft Body Scan, or call 615-436-1000. Once again, 615-436-1000 for Craft Body Scan.
Potentially life-threatening rain for parts of the South. Also, the U.S. Supreme Court ruling today about marijuana and guns. Coming up at 4 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Super Texter writes in and says, "Man, Matt, you're a downer today." I'm not trying to be a downer. I want to be, look, I want us all on uppers. Oh, wait. Maybe I said that wrong. 615-737-9986. I've gotten a number of photographs from the Barack Obama Presidential Library opening. Joe Biden looks rough, y'all. Hillary doesn't look very
I couldn't
good.
even see her from that hat.
Oh, that hat, boy.
And the glasses.
She's trying to blend into the crowd, man. Hiding a little bit.
Describe them like they look good at one point.
Yeah, they don't. It's I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. They a lot of old folks out there at the Barack Obama presidential compound, whatever they're calling it. Good for them. More power to them. It's my understanding they're $850 million in debt. Speaking of debt, just real quick, someone pointed this out, and you're exactly right that. I mean, it seems like yesterday, but 1980 was a long time ago. When Ronald Reagan took office, the national debt, you want to guess what the national debt was? I'll go ahead and tell you. It was less than $1 trillion. The national debt, when Ronald Reagan took office in 1980, was $891 billion, which seemed like a lot at the time. $891 billion. By 1990, that debt had grown to over $3 trillion. So in 10 years, it went from 800. So essentially, let's just go ahead and call it $1 trillion. It went from $1 trillion to $3 trillion. 1990 to 2000. Just y'all work with me for just a second now. 1990 to 2000. So in 1990, the United States national debt was just over $3 trillion. By 2000, that had gone up to 5.6, well, say 5.7 trillion. So 3 trillion to 5.7 trillion. Our national debt was $5.7 trillion in 2000. That's 26 years ago. In 2008, all right, so George W. Bush's term in office, and technically I know it's January 2001 to January 2009, but so in 8 years, 2000 it was 5.7 trillion. By 2008 it was 10.3 trillion. Woo! 10.3 trillion in 2008. Between 2008 and 2016, the term of Barack Hussein Obama, 8 years, we went from 10.3, essentially, trillion dollars to $19.6 trillion. Our national debt in 2016, 10 years ago, was $19.68 trillion. That's far too much. Between 2016 and 2020, our national debt grew from 19.6 to $26.3 trillion. And between 2020 and now, we've gone from 26 trillion to $39 trillion. And when I talk about this on the radio, the phones go quiet. I suppose no one knows what to do about it. Here's what you do. Here's what I would recommend you do. I will not vote for any political candidate that votes on a budget that is not balanced. Cut where you must. Now, you want to talk about disappointing. And I'm fairly disappointed with the aftermath of Iran, but I think I saw that coming. I think many of us saw that coming. And I can be mildly disappointed, but still appreciative of the effort. You want to talk about disappointing, though? These political figures that campaign as conservatives and run up there and overspend money without regard for our families. And it's not our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren anymore. It's us. It's us. Our national debt has gone up $13 trillion in 6 years. But, don't worry about it. It'll be fine. I saw that coming. I think many of us saw that coming. And I can be mildly... Oh, my goodness. I'm talking to myself. But, don't worry about it. That's not me talking right now. I don't know. I don't know where that's coming from. We'll figure that out. It's 4 o'clock. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm talking to myself. But, don't worry about it. That's not me talking right now. I don't know where that's coming from. We'll figure that out. It's 4 o'clock. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm talking to myself.
4 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Everyone in Middle Tennessee under a level 1 out of 5. Risk of severe weather.
It's 4 o'clock. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
4 o'clock. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Everyone in Middle Tennessee is under a level 1 out of 5. Risk of severe weather. Higher risk east and northeast of Nashville at a level 2. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Meanwhile, Leslie Lopez tells us folks in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia are bracing for potentially deadly flooding from the remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur. Coming up in 5 minutes. Meanwhile, Leslie Lopez tells us folks in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia are bracing for potentially deadly flooding from the remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur.
And this happens to be an area that we have seen 80% of flooding.
Today, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that along.
Untouched aspects of the law that continue to ban addicts of controlled substances, people who are high on those substances, people who are touched aspects a danger of the law to themselves or others. They are all still prohibited under controlled substances from having a gun. Who are high
At the
on
White
those
House
substances,
press briefing today, Vice President Vance defended the agreement with Iran.
They are all still prohibited under controlled substances from having a gun.
At the White House press briefing today, Vice President Vance defended the agreement with Iran.
They are all still prohibited controlled substances from having a gun.
At the White House press briefing today, Vice President Vance defended the agreement with Iran to exonerate other U.S. supporters to NATO. Murfreesboro leaders have repeated the $782 million press briefing today, Vice President Vance without mentioning Iran to exonerate other Fri-Jay until he was notified public safety leaders have repeated the plans to add police officers to a building fire station on the west side without mentioning Iran to exonerate other Fri-Jay until he was notified public safety leaders have repeated the plans to add police officers to a building fire station on the west side without mentioning Iran to exonerate other Fri-Jay until he was notified public safety leaders have repeated the plans to add police officers is now facing hate crime charges in California.
Hello, friends. I'm going to try to interrupt this congregation of voices and do it this way for a brief period of time. We've got some sort of technical gremlin that has joined into the system, and it's creating a feedback loop. And it apparently on the feedback loop, it adds to itself and 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 adds to itself. And so, it's like we're all in a room together, and more people are joining the room, and more people are joining the room, and more people are joining the room, and nobody leaves. So I apologize to Ken. He was back there in News Closet B doing the best he can, and we've been unable to figure out what is causing that on the board. And when we do, we'll try to figure that out for you. 615. Well, I don't want to give you the telephone number because I don't know that we can take telephone calls right now. So I'll just do it on my own for a minute. Radio sounds like an interview of J.D. Vance. I mean, I guess I don't know. There's a lot of gobbledygook happening. Not really sure how in the world that is going on. One way or the other, we will continue to traipse on down the road and see what happens. As we try to get those technical difficulties figured out. It's just past 4 o'clock, 4:04. Thank you for listening to Super Talk 99.7, WWTN, Hendersonville, Nashville. I don't know if we got the legal ID in or not. I appreciate you bearing with us as we attempt to work out those technical difficulties. It's playing on the delay. Yeah, I understand that it is. Josh writes in and says, "You guys made me realize that I forgot to take my pills." Yeah, well, maybe. I kind of feel the same way about all of that. So we'll sally forth. Hopefully we can get Jay St. Clair in here on Fri-Jay. It is a Fri-Jay on Thursday on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. As we're not here tomorrow, as I mentioned in the first hour, it was my initial intention to work tomorrow, but we were told that it was a company holiday and everybody needed to take the day off. So we will be taking the day off with everyone else, and we'll be back full song come Monday. It's my understanding Dan Mandis is back. Well, not full song because Ken Weaver won't be here. So we'll have Dan Mandis back in Nashville's Morning News. Brian Wilson doing a great job this week. Joan Jones doing a fabulous job with the Chris Hand Show. Chris Hand will be back from 9 until noon. Chad not here Monday, I guess, but back on Tuesday, and then, well, I'm back on Monday, at least as far as I know. I love the fact that there are people on the super text line that are telling us what to do with this. I don't know. Maybe I took one too many gummies, and that's what's happening. Who knows? One way or the other, we'll try to figure it out. 615-737-9986. Once again, I give that telephone number for no reason because the phones are blocked right now. All right, so 1035 says I loved every minute of it. Me too. I mean, I thought, it was a chorus of voices. Originally, it was just a chorus of Matt Murphy voices. It was like there was one Matt Murphy and then a multiply. I felt like I was on an episode of Rick and Morty. There was a one Matt Murphy and then two Matt Murphys and then four Matt Murphys and then 18 Matt Murphys and 28 Matt Murphys and 36 Matt Murphys. And before you know it, that's way, way, way too many Matt Murphys. And then same with Ken Weaver. Now we can stand probably double, triple the number of Ken Weavers than Matt Murphys. But come on.
I don't know about that, Brother Murphy.
Ken Weaver is back. Ken.
Hey, Brother Murphy.
Were you plowing through that while it was all happening?
Dude, I just keep going. I just keep going in case it starts working again. And I kept hearing I kept hearing you, and then I would hear me, then I would hear the audio cuts I was playing. And it just kept over and over again.
And it was kind of looping. And so by the time you got to the point where it had looped, it would loop again.
Yes.
And it would loop again, and it would loop again. And so suddenly there's 1,400 Matt Murphys and 2,800 Ken Weavers and somebody from ABC News.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
it was, that was... that was something.
That's a new one.
I've never experienced that.
Nor have I. And everything that RJ did with regard to the board, there's something that's creating that loop. Who knows?
It's got to be just a button. There's got to be a button.
There's a button. There's a button somewhere. Jackson probably knows where the button is.
Either that or Jackson sabotaged us.
Oh, Ken, I didn't think about that. Jackson?
No, Jackson wouldn't do that. It's not football season.
That's true. I would say yes, but I think Jackson would reserve that level of sabotage,
saboteugery,
that level of tomfoolery and saboteugery, ass-hattery.
Murphy, that was cracking me up, though, man.
Weird.
You just...
I don't know. It's like, my Lord. And it eventually, there were so many people. I was like, "Can we just cut all of this out and go to my mic?" Yeah, we could.
I just one thing I've always learned about radio is you just keep going.
Just keep. Silence is no good.
Silence is no good. You got to have them. You got to have them needles moving.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, they're not even needles anymore. Now they're lights.
Yeah, we had them moving, boy.
Well, we did.
A lot of different voices going on. 2510 says it's like that shampoo commercial from the 1970s. I'll tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and they tell two friends.
It was like a Pink Floyd album.
That's pretty good. Only on the Murphy Show you can't make this stuff up. That's fair enough. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to unblock the phones.
All right.
Maybe we can figure the phones out.
Maybe we get somebody on the air with us.
Maybe we can get somebody on the line with us, perhaps. In the meantime, we anticipate a conversation with Jay St. Clair. I don't know if that's going to happen or not today. We do have lots to get into. I've got some good news. With all of that negative debt relief and negative debt news, Some good news today on this Thursday.
Let's hear it, Brother Murphy.
A federal judge earlier this week, Tuesday to be precise, you might not have heard this story. Maybe Ken Weaver delivered the story. I don't know. But a federal judge on Tuesday declined to overturn a Wisconsin judge's obstruction of justice conviction for helping a man evade immigration officers who showed up to a courtroom looking to detain him. The case was against the judge, Hannah Dugan, who resigned from the Milwaukee County Circuit Court following her conviction. It was an early test as to how courts would respond to President Donald J. Trump's sweeping immigration crackdown. And this is from the Associated Press, so it sort of leans. I saw what you did there. What'd you do there? You tried to pull something up on the board.
Well, that was actually I turned on my computer pot and there's something on it. And I don't know what's on it.
I think
I'm going to go in audition here.
All right, go. See what happened. Okay. The case against Hannah Dugan, who resigned from the Milwaukee County Circuit Court following her conviction. It's a good one. The resignation and the conviction. Trump allies branded Dugan as an activist judge, while her supporters said she was unfairly targeted. She wasn't unfairly targeted for anything. U.S. District Judge Ann Alderman postponed Dugan's sentencing to June 3rd. June 3rd? What? When was this written? I think in this story they mean July 3rd, but you can't trust the Associated Press. I think it was probably July 3rd, to consider arguments about whether he should overturn. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This was prior to Alderman's ultimate ruling. So I'll get more into that in a moment. Take some of your telephone calls, 615-737-9986. RJ's telling me to go to break, so we'll go to break 12 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Well, it's one thing to say that a company makes their product in America. It's another to say right here in Middle Tennessee that every product that comes out of that company is made right here in Middle Tennessee. And that's what we can say about Timberland Cabinets. The high-quality kitchen and bathroom cabinets that they produce are all made right in Columbia, Tennessee. I've toured the factory. As a matter of fact, it's not just me that gets to tour the factory. If you want, you can do the same thing. You walk in and you talk to Deb or any of the gang in Columbia at Timberland Cabinets and say, hey, Murphy told me that I could take a little tour, see what's going on. They'll take you on one. They'll show you exactly what they're doing because they're making the cabinets that have served homeowners and home builders and remodelers and dealers across the United States of America and certainly across the state of Tennessee right there in Columbia. And I love the high quality that they're made with. So here's the deal, folks. The kitchen is the heartbeat of your home. You gotta protect that heartbeat and make sure that you nurture it. If you're thinking about a cabinet remodel before the holidays, now's the time to think about it, and it can cost you less money than you think. Find out more at TimberlandCabinets.com, TimberlandCabinets.com. Call Deb, call any of the gang over at Timberland, 931-499-7170. 931 is the area code, 499-7170 for Timberland Cabinets. Once again, TimberlandCabinets.com.
U.S. Supreme Court ruling on marijuana and guns. We'll let you hear about that coming up at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
There's Ken Weaver. He's back in News Closet B. My name's Matt Murphy. I'm over here in the control. Oh, well, actually, I'm in the studio. Between us in the control area is RJ, and I think we got it all figured out, fellas.
Dude,
all right.
I think it was my Facebook.
What?
No. I went to restart my computer. So I started taking everything down. When I took my Facebook down, it stopped.
Oh. So maybe Facebook had the audio of Talk TV rolling.
Yes.
And then it created that feedback loop, so it's pumping it twice, pumping it 3 times, pumping it 4 times.
That's what I think it was, and I've got to be more cognizant because sometimes I've got like 40 tabs up on
I know. You're busy in there, man.
So I got to apologize to Brother RJ there, man. He was running around with his head cut off.
Well, it is.
It was. I think it was in here.
It's been a long time since I've been in a position where I was in control of the board. But I do know that it is a very helpless feeling when you cut everything off and there's still audio coming. And you're like, okay, I don't know what else to do.
It's a different kind of panic, friends.
RJ had cut everything off, and there's still 487 Matt Murphys talking in the background.
Right.
And adding more by the second, which nobody needs.
Well,
it's like we're in the multiverse.
And we're adding Ken Weavers, too, to the mix.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I went to play some audio. So I bring up my audio, pull up my audio, and it starts all over again. And I'm thinking, what in the world? Why is Matt Murphy on my audio channel? And so then Bell comes in and says, you might try to reboot your computer. So I went to shut everything down, and sure enough, when I shut down my Facebook, it stopped.
Huh. Okay, that seems perfectly rational, and I understand everything about that, but I'm going to go ahead and blame Jackson. I'm not about to blame Ken Weaver. He's such a valuable part of the show, and he's here today. RJ is here, present and accounted for. Bell's here. The only one that I know to blame is Jackson. He ain't here.
Or you could blame the government. I mean, you were just giving them trouble for the debt, too.
That's fair. That's a fair analysis. All right, Robert in Laredo has been holding on. We're going to try to get Jay St. Clair in through our Google Meet and get some Fri-Jay in here. Hello, Robert. How are you?
Hey, can you hear me this time?
Yes, sir.
All righty. I got 2 questions for you. One of them's a legal question you might want to ask Jay for me.
All right.
But the first question is, have you got to watch that car museum video I sent you yet?
I have. You know what, Robert? I've got it, but I have not watched it, honestly. So, but I do need. I need to.
I went through that museum and filmed it just for you. So
I'm going to watch it. I've got it right here, and I'll take a look at it.
Okay. The legal question I have is, with $140 along with the black and white crayons, I'm wondering if I've got a case against Walt Disney World, because I feel like everything that's wrong in my life is because of one traumatizing event where I went down there when I was 11 years old for an entire week, met almost every character available, but not once did I get to see Mickey Mouse. And one time I went to his house, he was out to lunch, and I think that traumatized me to the point where everything wrong in my life is because Mickey Mouse did not want to see me at Disney World.
Robert, I guarantee you can sue him. I guarantee that you can sue him. $140 and a crayon, whatever color you want.
God bless y'all. Have fun.
All right, man. You do too. Have a great weekend. I say weekend because it is Thursday or Friday on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, do we have a 20 break? I'm just trying to make sure that I'm where I'm supposed to be. Have we done the 20 break, or do we have a 20 break?
Yeah, we did the 20 break, so we're going till 30.
Oh, we're going to the bottom of the hour. All right, just let me know if you get a hold of Jay St. Clair, and we'll continue down the road until then, or maybe it's best if we wait until right after the bottom of the hour news. I mentioned this. This is great news, folks. The rule of law still matters, and maybe, just maybe, we're clawing back the concept of the rule of law. If you forgot the details of the Hannah Duggan story, well, it's through no fault of yours, because the political left and the leftist mainstream media buried this story as soon as they possibly could. They did so because it was an obvious case of a liberal judge acting as an activist, as a part of acting in the spirit of the law, as written, as passed by our elected officials in the past regarding illegal alien activity. Duggan's attorneys argued that she should not have been charged because there was no, quote, pending proceeding against the immigrant in her courtroom being sought by ICE agents. If you recall, in this case, the federal government came to arrest Eduardo Flores Ruiz. Duggan assisted Eduardo Flores Ruiz in leaving the courthouse by assisting. I mean, you remember that hallway where the two ICE agents were waiting in the hallway and they spoke, and then she came out, and while she was talking to the agents, telling them where they could be and where they couldn't be, she had assisted Eduardo Flores Ruiz in leaving in a back area where defendants never went. I mean, she literally illegally assisted in his getting away from Immigration and Customs agents. And this case is so egregious. I pulled up an Associated Press story about the latest on the case, and the latest on the case is that Duggan is going to face up to 5 years in prison. Sadly, she will likely get probation. A jury of her peers convicted her December 19th, unlikely to be sentenced to time behind bars. Federal sentencing guidelines generally call for probation for defendants like her. Why? I don't know. She ought to be made an example of. Duggan resigned from her position as a Milwaukee County Circuit Judge 2 weeks after her conviction. She was going to be impeached anyway. The Trump administration has the audacity in that they are following the law when it comes to immigration. They're following the law. And for far too long, our local agencies, our local officials, our statewide officials have not been following the law. The Trump administration brought the case against Duggan as the president pressed ahead with his immigration crackdown. No, the Trump administration brought this case, and once again, I have to repair the verbiage that the Associated Press uses because they're so anti-Trump. And it's amazing to me how much we have to repair just to get back to a sense of balance. I'm just trying to relate to you the details of the case, and I can't even do that because it's all about, oh, Donald Trump did this, Donald Trump. Donald Trump didn't pass any immigration laws. Donald Trump is following the immigration laws that were already on the books. How many times do I have to say it? Donald Trump, his administration, have passed no additional immigration laws during his term as president of the United States of America. He is following the laws as they have been written, as they have been passed by previous Congresses and signed by previous presidents. Now, it's not my fault that Barack Obama didn't follow the law. It's not my fault that Joe Biden decided to open up the borders and allow millions of illegal aliens to flood the zone. That's not my fault. That's not your fault. Donald Trump is following the law as the law is written. And the law indicates that Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents have the ability to detain, apprehend, and remove those who are illegally in the United States of America. And they lean on and depend on other agencies, whether they be state or local, in following the law too. And sadly, people like Duggan decide that they want to be activists more than they want to be judges. She decided that she wanted to become an activist in that moment and that she didn't like the idea that an illegal alien was going to be detained by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents who were outside of her courtroom. And so she acted extracurricular to her judicial responsibilities. She violated the law and now ought to go to jail. Duggan's case marked the first time that a state judge in Wisconsin has gone on trial on charges of obstructing justice. She was acquitted of concealing an individual to prevent arrest, which is a misdemeanor. So, details of the case, April 18, 2025, immigration officials went to the Milwaukee County Courthouse. They learned that Flores Ruiz had re-entered the country illegally and was scheduled to appear before Duggan for a hearing on a state battery case. Duggan confronted agents outside of her courtroom, directed them to the chief judge's office because she told them that their administrative warrant wasn't sufficient grounds to arrest him. After the agents left, she led Flores Ruiz and his attorney out a private jury door. Agents spotted him in the corridor, followed him outside, arrested him after a foot chase. A week later, FBI agents arrested Duggan, as they should have. If you want to be a judge, you have to follow the law, whether you like it or not. You're calling balls and strikes here. It is not up to you to pass new law. That is up to a legislative body, a local city council, a local county commission, or the Congress of the United States of America. It is up to the executive branch to enforce said laws and for the judicial branch to interpret laws as they come before the court or to rule on laws presently on the books. That's kind of government 101. So I certainly hope that she serves some time in jail, although I seriously doubt that she will. It is 4:30. Time for the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and we got a line of showers and thunderstorms, some of it very heavy, the heaviest right along and north of I-40. Gallatin getting some of that, Dixon, Springfield, North Nashville. You are just below some of the heaviest rain, and this is going to continue through this evening. Everyone's under at least a level 1 out of 5 risk of severe weather. Everybody east and northeast of Nashville, level 2 out of 5. Well, today the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that a long-standing federal gun ban for people who use a controlled substance illegally is unconstitutional. This case stems from a plaintiff who owned a gun in Texas and admitted to using marijuana several times a week. We get more from ABC's Devin Dwyer.
It was a rare alignment of this narrowly divided Supreme Court on an issue that is usually favorable to conservatives. This was a setback for the Trump administration that had argued this gun ban for drug users was a cornerstone of public safety.
Well, at the White House press briefing today, Vice President J.D. Vance spoke about the agreement with Iran amid talk that Iran might try to charge fees for passing through the Strait of Hormuz. Vance saying other Gulf nations will be making sure Iran doesn't violate the agreement at the Strait.
We don't ever want this to happen again. Right? That's not about tolling. That's about ensuring that the straits are never used as a choke point for the global economy ever again. It's frankly not what the Iranians want. It's not what the Omanis want. It's not what the GCC wants either. So what we're going to do, of course, working with our allies in the region, is to ensure that that is reflected in the final deal. And if that's not reflected in the final deal, there's not going to be a final deal.
Waymo recalling thousands of its self-driving vehicles because the software may send the cars where they shouldn't be driving, as we hear from ABC's Alex Stone.
4,000 Waymo vehicles running the 5th-generation automated driving system are being recalled because a software might cause the self-driving vehicles to go through closed construction zones. According to a recall report, the vehicle might enter and drive at speed in freeway construction zones because the cars are failing to recognize the construction zones, or the cars are prioritizing avoiding other freeway hazards. Waymo first identified the problem after 6 incidents in Phoenix, and later there were 7 more in San Francisco. Waymo is currently working on a remedy and has restricted its vehicles from freeway driving. Alex Stone, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. B&A got a crash 40 eastbound before Briley Parkway East. Belmont area, 440 eastbound at Hillsborough Pike, 21st Avenue. Creve Hall, a crash, 65 northbound before Harding Place. In Robertson County, 24 eastbound approaching Maxey Road. Lebanon, a vehicle fire, 40 westbound at Lebanon and Watertown, exit 239. And then a crash on the right shoulder, 40 westbound at Fessler's Lane. And in Jolton, Old Hickory Boulevard at Clarksville Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Efficient Heating and Cooling. It's hard to find someone that you can trust when it comes to your heater or your air conditioner. And I understand that, you don't know. I don't know. I mean, I had a heater problem come up in February just after moving into my home, and I didn't know what the deal was, but I knew who to call. Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling, and they made it right, and they got us through the ice storm, and eventually we got a new unit installed at a low price, and I could not be happier with the result. Now, if you've got an AC problem right now, the best way to head off even more costly repair is to go ahead and get Jeff Eddy in on this, get efficient heating and cooling into your home to see what's going on. They'll give a complete maintenance check, figure out what's happening, and they will fix what ails your system as inexpensively as humanly possible. Now, there's a life cycle on your unit. And if it comes time where it's time, they'll let you know that too. And you can trust that they're telling you the truth about the matter. And they have financing available if you need. They're an Elite Pro partner with Ream. EfficientHVAC.net. That's EfficientHVAC.net or 615-784-4424. 784-4424 for our friends at Efficient. Super Talk 99.7 WTN up and running once again. It is 38 minutes after the hour. We thank you for being here. It is, I know that the title of the show, Jackson's on the Run, and it was intended to be a Fri-Jay on Thursday, but because of some of the technical issues that we've run into, we will not be having Fri-Jay on Thursday, and I'm sad for that. And I know you all are too. We love our visits with Jay St. Clair. We'll crank it back up next week. Your calls, 615-737-9986. If you've got something to say about where we are with the memorandum of understanding with the Iranians, so be it. I've said my piece on it. Disappointment in the outcome is not disagreement necessarily with the administration. I don't disagree with the concept. I don't disagree with the effort. I am disappointed in the outcome because I do not believe that my level of experience over doing this for the length of time that we've done it is that the Iranians are not going to abide by any agreement that they enter into because they never have. And if that is the case, then, we're opening up what was a sanctioned nation to be a unsanctioned nation. And I'm a little fearful. Now, J.D. Vance earlier today made an appearance before the assembled press, and he offered us assurances that none of that's going to be that way. Vance warned, in addition to warning the Israelis to be thankful that they've got allies within the Middle East, he also had a few other things to say about the matter. There was also this exchange during the J.D. Vance press conference, a little audio video here, as we we listened to JD with a back and forth with a young reporter who wanted to question him about whether or not he had intentions to run in 2028. Uh-oh. I don't guess I have anybody in there right now. You got me there, RJ? Yeah, audio, video. J.D. Vance questioned in the White House earlier today regarding whether or not he would be running for office in 2028.
Mr. Vice President, thank you so much. I know that you are still not sure if you are going to run for president in 2028, but if you do not, is there anyone in particular that you would want to see run?
What's your name?
Stephen Kapuska, sir.
I want Stephen Kapuska to run for president in 2028.
Hey, listen to that. That sounded like what the Matt Murphy show sounded like a minute ago. All those gobbles. J.D. Vance earlier today before the press conference, the gathered press in the White House press briefing room. J.D. also had a few things to say about the deal, defended the U.S.-Iran peace agreement, sought to defend the preliminaries of the deal, said that the misrepresentations of its terms were not going to stymie the administration from moving forward and attempting to finalize those terms over the next 60 days or so. So, for what it's worth, I suppose that's good news. 4460 says, I think Jay kicked your bleep on the golf course and you don't want him to come on and gloat. Jay, I don't think we kept score the day we were on the golf course. Actually, no, we didn't. We were both just having a good time, and it was a fairly long round. There's a lot of people on the course, so we didn't keep score. But no, we most certainly wanted Jay to come on. It was on our end that we were unable to make that happen, and so hopefully we'll get all of that worked out before next Friday. I'm certain that we will. The primary question that I had for Jay was regarding pot and guns and the Supreme Court of the United States of America. The Supreme Court is in case season, ruling season, if you will. And the United States Supreme Court offered a ruling that is contrary to what so many previous courts have indicated with regard to your ability to have or even smoke marijuana and own a gun. And if I can get my story back up, I'll relate it to you. Hold on just a second. Now I have my own technical difficulties going on. The Supreme Court of the United States of America offered a ruling earlier today on the issue of gun ownership with regard to the federal government and their power to disarm drug users. Supreme Court curbed the power of the federal government to disarm a marijuana user, which limited the scope of the law enacted during the 1960s to keep weapons out of the hands of Americans who regularly use drugs. It was a unanimous opinion written by Justice Neil Gorsuch. The court ruled that the government's prosecution of a man who had used pot was inconsistent with the Second Amendment. The court settled the case in a way that was exceedingly limited, reserving broader questions about whether federal prosecutors could target people who are addicted to drugs or whose use of drugs makes them a danger to themselves or to others. The slimness, if you will, of the decision was underscored by the fact that all 9 justices joined an opinion on the issue, the Second Amendment, which usually divides along ideological lines. But this was a unanimous decision. Here's the case. It centered on a man by the name of Ali Danyal Hermani, a dual citizen of the United States of America and Pakistan, as Barack Obama used to say. Danal Hermani, or Himani, yeah, I think that's right, Himani, was indicted in 2023 on a count of violating the federal anti-gun and drug law. Though the Justice Department accused Hamani of many things, dealing drugs, using cocaine, sympathizing with Iran, his indictment followed an FBI search of the family's home that turned up a Glock 9mm pistol and 60 grams of pot. The court, in their opinion, wrote, "We do not question that sometimes an individual's unlawful use of marijuana or any other controlled substance may render him a danger to others. But again, the government disclaims the need to show anything like that in this case. Instead, it asks us to conclude that anyone who regularly uses marijuana is categorically violent and dangerous without any further showing. And that, Gorsuch said, was a bridge too far. The appeal, wrapped up in forces far greater than Hamani's own circumstances, included a conservative court's push in recent years to limit the ability of state governments, or any other government for that matter, in curtailing your ability to own a gun, and rightly so. So the gun law that was passed in the 1960s, or the gun and drug law passed in the 1960s, is a fairly sweeping law. During oral arguments in March, it was clear both conservative and liberal justices had reservations in the breadth of the prosecution. Justice Amy Coney Barrett asked whether a person taking Ambien without a prescription would be covered under the law, a hypothetical that underscored the law's scope. The case gave the Supreme Court another chance to revisit its 2022 decision, the Bruin case, that made it easier for Americans to carry handguns in public and required gun prohibitions to have some connection to U.S. founding-era laws. We have allowed state and local jurisdiction and even federal jurisdiction to slowly erode and curtail our gun ownership rights. And what I've said for years is that psychologically, this has had an impact on the American people to the point that they believe, sadly, many Americans believe that the introduction of a gun in any given situation is a negative thing. It is not a negative thing. It is all about the intent of the user or the intent of the individual that is carrying the gun as to whether or not it becomes a negative or a positive. That's what our founding fathers understood, and that's what we need to understand as well. A constitutional right is just that. It's a constitutional right guaranteeing that the government may not curtail our rights through force that are given to us by God. And we have the right to self-defense. That is a God-given right. And we have the right to defend ourselves against a government that has turned it tyrannical. That is also a God-given right. That is a basic bedrock foundational principle of the United States of America. Just read the Declaration of Independence. And with that in mind, the courts have determined that you can't just en masse assume that if somebody's on their sofa smoking a doob, that they don't have the legal right to own a gun any longer, which is sadly what the Gun Control Act of 1968 apparently did. Just a little history on that. The Gun Control Act of 1968, enacted partly in response to the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr., created classes of people the federal government said that it was allowed to disarm, including those convicted of felonies or dishonorably discharged from the military. The text of the drug provision includes both people who are addicted to drugs or those who are, quote, unlawful users of drugs. Now, 43 states have adopted similar laws restricting access to firearms for drug users. Opponents note, rightly, most of those laws define people who would be disarmed as habitual users, and that word does not appear in any federal statute. Federal District Court in Texas dismissed the charge against Hamani, pointing to the 2022 Bruin decision. The Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals upheld that decision, holding a brief decision that the historical record points only to laws that barred guns for Americans who were actively intoxicated or under the influence of drugs at the time of their arrest. This is a changing dynamic reflective of the changing times. There are many marijuana users, legal and illegal marijuana users, that are not habitual users or who would not consider themselves to be addicts of marijuana. And obviously there's some, much like alcohol in 2026, you can consume alcohol and still be a legal gun owner. It is illegal for you to be intoxicated on alcohol and have or possess a gun. I think that's right. I don't know. I need to make sure that I'm right on that. I believe I'm correct. I think that is a part of the text of the Gun Control Act of 1968 that you can't be actively intoxicated or actively on drugs and possess legally a gun. You become that becomes an unlawful possession at that time. The premise being is that you cannot make reasonable decisions while intoxicated by alcohol or drugs. Anyway, it's a good news. It's a good decision on the part of the court, and it's a rare 9-0 decision on the part of the court that is also affirming an individual's right to keep and bear arms unfettered from government overreach, which is what this was. 615-737-9986 if you'd like to be a part of the show. 615-737-9986. That's via super text or telephone call. Back in a moment on Super Talk. For over a year now, we've been telling you about our friends at Contours LLC in Cool Springs. They use an incredible red light technology that gets rid of body fat inexpensively without pain. There's no downtime, and it really does work. And I should know. I've been doing it, and I feel better. I feel like I look better. Y'all tell me. I get compliments all the time. Hey, Murph, you look like you've lost weight. And I thank Contours LLC. Thank Keith and the gang. One of the things I like most are hearing success stories from you. One of those people is a fellow I met by the name of Gary, who's done a package of treatments, lost a ton of inches off of his stomach area, a ton of weight as well. And Gary's story is just an example of so many other stories that we hear about often when we are out and about and we get to meet you folks. Gary's entire story, by the way, is on the WTN website, also on Contours' website, contoursllc.com. Gary went to Contours, spent $99 for their introductory session, ended up purchasing an entire package. Be like Gary. Be like Murphy. Start the journey with a new you today. Call Contours LLC, 615-236-9960, 615-236-9960, or online at contoursllc.com, contoursllc.com. After all, what do you have to lose but inches?
We are tracking some potential strong storms, possible severe storms here in Middle Tennessee this evening. Also, some potentially deadly rainfall for our neighbors in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. And then that U.S. Supreme Court ruling today about marijuana and guns coming up at 5 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The Matt Murphy Show continues on a Thursday edition. Thank you for being out there. 56 after the hour. 7882 writes in concerning our conversation regarding the Second Amendment, your right to keep and bear arms, and says, but you don't have the right to carry a bazooka, do you? Actually, you do have the right to own a bazooka. I don't know how far you'd get, carrying a bazooka. You'd probably have to answer quite a few questions if you decided to do that. But and this is off the top of my head, guys, so if I have some of these details wrong, I apologize. I know that we have many fabulous Second Amendment advocates that keep me straight on some of the finer details of Second Amendment law. But I think owning a bazooka is similar in nature to owning a fully automatic rifle, like a machine gun. That there is additional paperwork, there are additional fees, but I want to say that you have the legal right to own a bazooka. You just have to go through more hoops, much like a fully auto, like a machine gun type deal. Doug is next up. Hey, Doug, how are you?
I'm doing good. My question was about Tennessee as far as the alcohol goes and possessing of a weapon. In January, they passed a law saying a first-time DUI is now a felony in Tennessee. And, of course, a felony keeps you from having a firearm. And a DUI felony is a non-expungible felony. So you can never get that off your record. How would that ruling with the Supreme Court affect that? Or does it affect it at all?
I don't know what I'm looking at this now. You're telling me something that I didn't know, Doug. So I'll need to do a bit of research on it because I just looked it up while you were talking, and my information indicates that a first offense DUI in Tennessee is a Class A misdemeanor.
Okay. Well, I was under the impression that January 1st of this year.
Well, you might be right. No, I'm not saying I'm right. This is news to me. If you are.
Okay. All right.
Let me. I guarantee you that someone in the audience will be able to tell us the answer to this question, though. But yeah, that does bring up the interesting question that if you can't expunge that and you're guilty of a felony, does that preclude you from gun ownership rights because you have a felony on your record, and what you would need to do to try to get that corrected? Doug, let me explore some of this, and perhaps one of our loyal listeners who is more familiar with the law can help us out. 615-737-9986. I'll do my best as well. But yeah, I have it as a Class A misdemeanor, mandatory 48 hours in jail and up to 11 months in prison, penalties up to $1,500, 1 year license revocation, mandatory alcohol safety, et cetera, et cetera. It's time for the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Five o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We got some pretty heavy rain moving through Nashville right now. It is mostly along and north of I-40. At least the heaviest is north of I-40. Dixon just got past some of it. Well, some of it just went past Dixon, I should say. But there is some lightning in this. Nothing severe right now, although we are under a level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather across all of Middle Tennessee. Some of us east and northeast of Nashville are under a level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather. That's going to be until about 9 o'clock tonight. Got the full forecast, another traffic update here in 4 minutes. Meanwhile, Leslie Lopez telling us folks in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, they're bracing for potentially deadly flooding from the remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur.
It's really rare, too. We're talking about a 4 out of 4 level threat. This means that we could see as much as 6 inches of rainfall rates. That's a lot of rain in a short amount of time. 10 to 20 inches possible out of this. And this happens to be an area that we have seen 80% of flood-related damage historically in this area in the United States, along with 1/3 of flood-related deaths. So when we say you have to heed all warnings, really do so. This is a dangerous situation.
Today, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that a long-standing federal gun ban for people who use a controlled substance illegally is unconstitutional. The case stems from a plaintiff who owned a gun in Texas and admitted to using marijuana several times a week. We get more from ABC's Devin Dwyer.
The decision does set new limits on how the federal government can go after gun owners simply for having a history of drug use, and it was especially welcomed by millions of American cannabis users who have had to disarm or risk up to 15 years behind bars.
Vice President Vance appearing in the White House briefing room to take reporters' questions about the U.S. agreement with Iran, which Vance says is now in effect. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
Pushing back against critics of the deal, whom he cast as wanting the war to continue, the vice president said he didn't know if Iran can be trusted to change its behavior.
But isn't it worth trying?
The memorandum of understanding has the U.S. waiving sanctions and dropping its blockade to allow Iran to immediately sell its oil. Still, J.D. Vance insists the U.S. has Iran in an economic chokehold. While Iran's broader malign activities are not specifically mentioned in the MOU, Vance indicated the U.S. might strike Iran again if it begins funding terrorism. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, the White House.
Well, the English men's national soccer team opened its 2026 World Cup play with a 4-2 victory over Croatia at Dallas Stadium. ABC's Jim Ryan says it's what happened before the match that got the attention of the police.
The Londoner pub in Dallas has become the favorite gathering spot for English fans to watch the matches played in nearby Arlington. Before the Three Lions played Croatia, Dallas police were called when the Brits got too rowdy. The England fans reportedly drank 5,000 beers at the Londoner, draining the taps, tipping over tables, but spending more than $40,000 before they were kicked out. Jim Ryan, ABC News in Dallas-Fort Worth.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. It's like a parking lot on the interstates with the rain that has come through. A lot of people taking it easy, as they should. We're bumper to bumper, northbound 65 to the South Loop, eastbound 440 over to 24, eastbound South Loop, eastbound East Loop. Got crashes to contend with in the Belmont area, 440 eastbound there at Hillsborough Pike, 21st Avenue. And then 65 northbound just past Bethel Road in White House. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. It is 7 minutes after 5 o'clock. Many of you getting off work, getting in your automobiles. We thank you for joining us. We'll try to make that drive home a little bit smoother, at least provide you some entertainment, some information, and maybe a laugh or two. 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. If you'd like to be an active participant in the conversation, you can do so on the phone lines. You can also do so on the super text line. Hey, fellas, I don't know the answer to this question. I probably should because my name's on the radio show.
What is it, Brother Murphy?
We playing nincompoops today?
I've got me a nincompoop.
Oh, you got you a nincompoop? Hey, RJ.
I can find me a nincompoop.
Get you a nincompoop. We're going to play nincompoops in about 30 minutes. How about that?
Yes. Sounds good to me.
We're going to play. It's a friendly, as they say in the old soccer, it's a friendly nincompoop today on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We'll play, and you can play along. In the meantime, we were discussing the Supreme Court ruling earlier today, and a question came up about the ability for those who have been consuming alcohol to carry a firearm. And it is illegal for you to carry a firearm while drunk or while under the influence of drugs. But that led to another question that a caller brought up, and I was unfamiliar with this, and I'm still unfamiliar with it because I wasn't able to look it up during the break. But I think Max might have an answer to our question. I'm going to get to him in a moment. And the question is this. So, does a DUI preclude you from legally owning a gun? Now, a felony might. And the caller was under the impression that the laws had changed in the state of Tennessee to reflect a felony on a first-time DUI offense. I didn't get that when I looked it up, but maybe I'm not seeing the latest in terms of DUI law. I don't know. Perhaps Max does. Max joins us on the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Max, thank you for your call. How are you?
Yes, sir, Matt. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Well, I hope you have a great break for a couple of days, a long weekend, and I just wanted to call in. No, the caller was not correct. A first offense DUI is a Class A misdemeanor, as you said. It's punishable by 11 months and 29 days of probation with a mandatory 2 days to serve, a $350 fine. You lose your driver's license for a year. If your blood alcohol is 0.15 or higher, then it's a mandatory 7 days in jail, consecutive. You can't serve it on the weekends. And then a second offense is also a Class A misdemeanor, but it carries 45 days in jail and a $600 fine. You lose your driver's license for 2 years, etc. Third offense is still a Class A misdemeanor, 120 days in jail with loss of your license for several years, and etc. You have to have an interlock device on your car. A fourth or a subsequent DUI is a felony, and so and if you have the felony, then yes, you have the problems with owning or possessing firearms. But just having an A misdemeanor DUI does not automatically preclude you. You're right. If you're drinking and you're in possession of a gun, that's a separate offense. So, but that's the law right there.
Max, I feel like I'm talking to somebody that understands Tennessee law pretty well.
Well, I've been a lawyer for a long time. I'm a former judge, and I'm a current prosecutor. So I have a fairly good handle on at least this part of it. So.
Well, I'm proud that you chose to call us up and to kind of lay it down where we can easily understand it. That makes sense. So first 3 offenses remain misdemeanors. Subsequent offenses, it rises to the level of a felony.
Yes, and we can look at offenses that are outside of Tennessee. So, if you get a DUI in Kentucky or Oregon or wherever, and it's within a period of 10 years, then that counts as a first offense. If you got a DUI and it was 14 years ago, you can still have a first offense in Tennessee, but that's kind of how we do the calculation.
Well, thank you so much for the info, Max, and call us back anytime. When Matt Murphy tries to put his amateur lawyer hat on and fails, then I'll rely on you to correct me.
Well, I enjoy your show.
Thank
Listen to you every day, and I enjoy when Jay is there. I'm often tempted to call and just visit with him. I'd like to meet with him off the air and just share some more stories, but keep up the good work.
Well, thank you, Max, and I'm sure he would absolutely love that as well. I appreciate your telephone call, and I appreciate the information. So hopefully the caller was listening, and that kind of corrects the information. Class A misdemeanor, first offense, Class A misdemeanor, second offense, Class A misdemeanor, third offense. Obviously, these things grade up in terms of punishment, first, second to third, and only does it become felonious, fourth and subsequent offenses. And obviously, at that point, it's a pretty serious issue that you're dealing with if you have more than 3 DUIs. You're going to lose your legal right to own a gun. The Department of Homeland Security has announced today that the alleged ringleader of the plot to carry out the mass casualty attack on the UFC Freedom 250 event was in the United States of America illegally. I've got more on that coming up in a moment. Rick is in Nashville. Hey, Rick, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, Matt?
I'm well, Rick. What's going on?
Well, what I had called for is about the automatic weapons and bazooka.
Yes, sir.
Unless the law has changed, and I don't think it has, used to be you had to get what they called a Class 5 sticker for each and every automatic weapon that you owned, and you had to go through the ATF to get it. And if you had any blemishes on your previous record, you was not going to get it.
Right.
And on top of that, you signed a waiver where they could come, the federal government could come into your residence and check each and every one of your weapons at any time of the day. And if you, they done that, so if you had a weapon that you had turned into a fully automatic weapon, it better have a sticker too.
Right, right. Yeah, I did manage to look this one up during the break, and it's a heavy. There's a heavy burden of regulation that is placed on this thing. But under federal law, a bazooka is classified as a destructive device. Ownership requires, and I'm just reading here, and this just kind of confirms what you've just told us, Rick. I don't know why I'm reading it twice, but extensive background check. You have to register the device. You have to pay a $200 tax stamp per item. And this says Form 4. I don't know what that means, but ATF Form 4, and undergo, obviously, rigorous vetting and background checks and the sort. They don't make it easy, but there is a narrow window by which you could own one if you so desire.
Right, and even to take a fully automatic weapon out and use it, you have to go to a gun range that is certified for weapons to that extent.
Oh, so if you legally own like what we would typically classify as a fully automatic or a machine gun, for example.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I mean, you just can't step out in your backyard and
start unloading.
Right. Yeah, that would be.
Well, Rick, that's good info, man. I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, you have a great afternoon, brother. Thank you. Yeah, the question, came up on the super text line whether or not you could legally own a bazooka. And while legal federally, according to the information I'm looking at, many states obviously outlaw. So a lot of states outlaw destructive devices. The bazooka is defined as a destructive device. It is technically you're firing a rocket. You're not firing a projectile, right? The explosion is coming later. It's a technical difference. I mean, it's a different. There's a difference. I mean, the rocket fired propellant explodes on contact, as opposed to the explosion happening at the muzzle. So it's a slightly different thing. Okay, I'm as I'm looking at my phone about to relate some of the federal regulations to you, I see that Scott Sapicki has weighed in on the conversation. Representative Sapicki says as long as the bazooka is carried by a raccoon, we're all okay. Sapicki. What? Chiming in from the peanut gallery. Clearly, he's on the farm baling hay with his pitchfork, carried by a raccoon. These damn phone devices, Ken, they are listening constantly because since we got into that raccoon legislation, do you understand how many raccoon-based little memes and TikToks and Instagrams and reels off Facebook that I get on a regular basis?
Every day?
Every day. And most of them are babies, and I want one. I want a baby raccoon now. But I don't know how Mrs. Beasley would react to a baby raccoon.
I don't think Mrs. Beasley would react kindly.
I don't think so either. I think Mrs. Beasley would decide that raccoon needs to be shaken vigorously.
Right.
About the neck and shoulders.
Because
Hey, it's legal in Tennessee.
You said Miss Beasley tends to go after squirrels.
She does. She doesn't care for a squirrel. I feel like she would think of a baby raccoon similarly.
Yes.
And I don't think any amount of little Rocky raccoon is a part of the family now would change her attitude.
Right.
About the raccoon.
Right.
That is unfortunate but true. I think the best way is to, and this is my master plan, Ken.
Yeah.
Is to get them. If you get a baby doggy, you get a new baby raccoon at the same time. Bring them up together.
Yes.
Kind of like what's the Fox and the Hound? The Disney cartoon.
Yeah, the Fox and the Hound.
The Fox and the Hound, where they came up and they were little babies together, and
right.
they became best buddies, and then they grew up, and then I forget how it ends, but I think the Hound was supposed to kill the fox, couldn't do it, or whatever, or all the rest of the hound dogs were wanting to kill the fox, one way or the other. I don't want to ruin that for anybody that's watching it over the weekend.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
If it's small enough, Mrs. Beasley might just think it's a puppy, and it doesn't have all the raccoon traits yet.
Maybe so.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Miss Beasley, she's got a pretty keen eye look to me. She's got a smart look to her.
See, I feel like Munson. He's 11 now. Munson's at the age he doesn't give a rip.
He just looks like a lovable little fella.
Yeah, Munson's just whatever. He actually lets stuffed animals exist in our house now, Ken.
Miss Beasley does not, I take.
No, she's fine. She's always been, she plays with them, shakes them, gets the squeaks on them.
Yep.
Munson was the one. If you had any creature in that house with a squeaker in it, he was going to destroy that creature until he got the squeaker.
See, I had a dog like that too. And we just had to stop buying them because he would eat the squeaker.
Yeah, we did that too. For a long time, we had no fluffies, no furries in the house. And now, as he has gotten older, we've kind of reintroduced him, Ken, and he's like, yeah, whatever.
It's like, I'm older now.
I'll allow it. He's now obsessed with his orange and blue balls.
Yeah.
Do you see him online?
Yes.
See the Facebook? You see that nice lady? I'd give her a plug if I could remember her bakery, but
he's got both of them.
Oh man, he's got. Oh yeah, so Ken, those orange and blue balls, we have maybe 20 of them.
He's got 2 of them in his mouth.
And he carries 2 of them around everywhere he goes. Like, if you say, hey, Munson, let's go outside, he'll get up and he'll go the other way.
Yes.
And for a while, I'm like, where the hell are you going? Now I know he's going to get 2 balls. He's got to bring them outside with him.
Yes.
We call them his passies.
Yes.
Got to have a couple of pacifiers in his mouth.
Yes.
The We've got the deck outside off the back of the house, and it's probably good, 12, 14 feet to the ground. And Munson will be laying there with his two balls in his mouth, and he'll kind of fall asleep. And one of them will fall out of his mouth and roll off the deck. And the look of horror.
Yes.
I mean, because he pokes his head through the slats.
Right.
And he's looking down, and then he'll pull his head out, and he'll look at me. And then he'll poke him down there, and he'll look at it again. And it's like, what are you going to do about this,
Go
dude?
get him.
You need to go get my balls. They're down on the ground. A damn squirrel could get them. Or any other God's creatures. Oh, yeah, those orange and blue balls. I don't know what they put in them to make them so. I mean, because he could give a rip about a tennis ball.
Right.
Couldn't care anything about it.
But he likes those.
Ooh, those, boy. Loves those. Ms. Beasley would do okay until the coon starts washing her food. Yeah, it's probably true. Sally says, I don't know, Matt. Ms. Beasley might take to a baby raccoon. Mother instincts and all. You see it on video all the time. Strange animal takes strange baby under their wing. Doesn't kill it. Maybe.
I follow an Instagram account where it's a miniature pig and one of those giant turtles. And the pig scratches herself against the turtle. It cracks me up. They are best friends.
I love seeing weird best friend videos.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like best buddy videos. Like there's one where there's a donkey that's befriended. What is it? It's like an emu or something. And it's just the weirdest damn thing you ever seen in your life.
They love each other.
4317 says, so you're telling me your house is full of furries and blue balls? Munson puts both of his balls in his mouth. Yes, 2371, he does.
Our
This
listeners
audience
are going to come up with this.
This audience, boy. I blame myself.
They can't help themselves.
Three Sisters Barkery, Erica says, in Spring Hill. So E has reported in. Three Sisters Barkery in Spring Hill. So there you go. 615-737-9986. If you'd like to be a part of the show, I will relate to you what the Department of Homeland Security is saying about this UFC Freedom 250 plot to kill mass amounts of people just this past weekend. We'll tell you the details on it in a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy. You want to know about a place where European Auto Repair does not feel like European Auto Repair? Well, the moment you walk through Eurofix at any of their fine, fabulous locations, you'll notice they're clean, they're comfortable, they're inviting. Service areas are spotless because Eurofix cares about everything, from how you're treated to how your vehicle is treated. Every repair comes with a rock-solid 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all repairs that they perform. And at below-dealer pricing, too. Plus, you don't get ghosted by the dealer waiting on a callback. Eurofix fixes everything European, plus a rental car is available with every appointment. And then they have locations near you. One in Nashville, Franklin, Belmead, Murfreesboro, and Mount Juliet. That's near you, right? 844-EUROFIX. That's 844-EUROFIX. Or online at myyurofix.com, myyurofix.com. Tell the gang at Eurofix that Matt Murphy sent you to the one and only Eurofix.
All right, tracking the potential for severe weather here in Middle Tennessee, and got a story out of Massachusetts for you about a woman who drove right into a hotel and started firing shots. Details coming up at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
5:30 right around the corner. Nincompoops after that. Another hour to go, and we'll call it a weekend. Not here tomorrow. It is a company holiday. I volunteered to come in and was told to take the day, and so we will. Take the day tomorrow. Best of programming all day long. It is a federal holiday and a company holiday as well. The Department of Homeland Security announced earlier today, that the alleged ringleader of the foiled plot to carry out a mass casualty attack on the Freedom 250 event, the UFC fight event at the White House, was a Mexican national who was in the country illegally. According to the Department of Homeland Security, Abraham Alvarez, 31 years of age, of Omaha, Nebraska, planned, organized, and directed the alleged attack. He was arrested by the FBI June 14 in Omaha. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has lodged a detainer against him. According to Acting Assistant Secretary Lauren BIS, the illegal alien from Mexico should never have been allowed in our country. He was the ringleader of a failed terrorist attack targeting UFC Freedom 250 at the White House. He and his co-conspirators now face charges of conspiracy to commit murder and conspiracy to commit violence on White House grounds. He will face justice and then will swiftly be removed from our country. Hat tip to Tennessee Star. I'm getting some of this story and some of this info, this quote, to be specific, from the Tennessee Star. DHS noted Alvarez entered the United States on a B-2 visa, failed to depart after it expired December of 2001. Obama administration granted him Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, in 2014. On Tuesday, the Department of Justice announced federal charges against 5 men in connection with the alleged conspiracy to attack and kill government officials and others. Something that you're not hearing a lot about in mainstream media. It would seem that yet another assassination attempt would continue to be news in the mainstream media, but they choose to conveniently forget those stories that do not fit their narratives. The Department of Justice announced federal charges Tuesday against those 5 men. According to criminal complaints and affidavits, the group planned to use explosive-laden drones to target the north side of the arena forcing, that is, an evacuation. They then allegedly intended to deploy snipers to fire on, quote, high-value targets in the fleeing crowd. The conspirators allegedly communicated in an encrypted group chat, discussed drones, explosives, funding the operation, tactical positioning, counter snipers and drones, training, fallback plans. Some discussions referenced specific tactics and targets, including members of Congress, including our own Senator Marsha Blackburn. The 5 men charged thus far are Tyson Proper, 19, of Ohio, Brian Roa, 24, of California, Michael Thomas, 32, of California, Daniel Eskridge, 32, of Missouri, and Abraham Alvarez of Omaha, Nebraska, identified by the FBI as the individual responsible for the planning of all of this and illegally in the United States of America. A follow-up on a story that we've been covering for you on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's time for the news on Super Talk.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and everyone in Middle Tennessee is under at least a level 1 out of 5 risk of severe weather this evening. It's higher east and northeast of Nashville at a level 2. We've got some rain falling in the neighborhood. I mean Middle Tennessee. Some of it's heavier than others. Nothing is stormy right now. There might be some thunder and some lightning in it, but we don't have any severe weather at this time. But we're keeping an eye on it for you. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Well, in Massachusetts, a woman is dead and another person injured after police in Sturbridge say a driver crashed her car into a hotel and then started firing shots at the building around 1 o'clock this morning. Stuart McKelvey was staying in a room directly above where it all unfolded.
She kept shouting, "Where are you? Where are you?" Like, screaming it. I didn't really hear a crash. I heard gunshots. I looked out the window and the car was already into the side of the hotel. And I saw her jumping out of the car and shooting into the hotel.
Authorities say officers tried to make contact with the driver, who they say then turned the gun on herself and died by suicide.
At the time of death, no one knew she was pregnant at that point, but later through our interviews, about 20 to 30 minutes after the fact, that we found out that she was pregnant.
Investigators say the other person who was shot appears to be just an innocent bystander. In our nation's capital, the U.S. Supreme Court today sided with a marijuana user in a unanimous decision. The justices ruled the government cannot automatically ban someone from owning a gun simply for using cannabis. The case involved a Texas man prosecuted under a decades-old federal law. The court says marijuana use alone is not enough to strip away Second Amendment rights, but it does not eliminate federal restriction. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Rain-soaked interstates mean it's like a parking lot at times, especially northbound 65 up to the South Loop, then eastbound 24 from 440. We are contending with some crashes. One just popped up in Jolton going 24 westbound between New Hope Road and Springfield-Ashland City. Exit 24 in Madison, Gallatin Pike South at East Palestine Avenue. And then South Nashville, you've got I-440 eastbound at 24. And in Murfreesboro, a stalled vehicle on the left shoulder 24 eastbound at 840. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for the Charlie Daniels Journey Home Project. What an amazing charitable organization they are. And now they have teamed up with another wonderful organization called Shield 616, and I'm here to tell you about it. By now, you know that the Charlie Daniels Journey Home Project supports the return, the rehabilitation, and reintegration of our returning veterans. Sadly, we see far too many suicides per day with our veterans, on average 22. Mental wellness is a critical issue for our heroes that have served. Charlie Daniels often said the only thing between that protects us from evil is God Almighty and the United States military, and he's so right. I do want to remind you about their partnership with Shield 616, which is such a wonderful partnership, and it makes so much sense. They have partnered with Shield 616 to provide advanced ballistic vests to the Wilson County Sheriff's Department, and now they are generating money to extend those ballistic vests to SROs that serve in Wilson County. The goal is to eventually expand this program to serve other counties as well. Founded on the belief that first responders should never have to return to their vehicles in moments of crisis to retrieve their armor, Shield 616 works to equip law enforcement professionals with state-of-the-art protective gear designed for immediate readiness within the field. And the Charlie Daniels Journey Home Project is partnering with them, and they've invested more than $150,000 to make these donations possible. And it reflects their belief that they want to extend their impact beyond just the military to our first responders. And I so appreciate them doing so. Go to thejourneyhomeproject.org for more information. That's thejourneyhomeproject.org. And thank them if you will. Give if you can to the Charlie Daniels Journey Home Project. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy, and let's spend a moment talking about the wonderful opportunity that Genesis Diamonds has in front of you. Friends, Genesis Diamonds is offering to the end of the month, and that's we got 12 more days of this, an incredible opportunity for you to have free financing for 5 full years on anything in the store. Make a purchase, pay zero down, get zero interest for 5 years. It's insane, but it is happening right now. So that $5,000 incredible home run gift comes out to just $85 a month. That incredible luxury pre-owned Rolex that you always thought might be out of reach, just $150 a month. It's an amazing offer from the jeweler that's always finding ways to bring you more value. Lab-grown diamonds are included. GIA certified diamonds are also on this. Rounds, princess, ovals, pear shapes, cushion cuts, emerald cuts, everything in the store. You get your Genesis value on anything and everything. Pay zero down and spread your payments over 5 years. Now, this is a limited time offer. It ends June 30th. On approved credit will not be extended. See store for details. Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Go in, see the sparkle, buy the sparkle, pay nothing now, pay zero interest for 5 years. Only at Genesis Diamonds. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We're getting to a call or two right before nincompoops in the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. A friendly match between Ken Weaver, Matt Murphy, and RJ. The three of us playing today, and you get to vote. You're playing along, 615-737-9986. In the meantime, it's Steven's turn in, well, I don't know where you're calling from, Steven, but it says you want to talk about Iran. What's going on, brother?
Hey, brother. On my way to Lawrenceburg right now.
Yes, sir.
Make a drop.
Yes, sir.
The land of the Mennonites.
I like Lawrenceburg down there. Summertown, Lawrenceburg. I mean, it's all good down there.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
My great-grandfather's buried down there, World War II veteran. He fought in Patton's 3rd Army Black Hawk Division.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Oh, Walker Chambers.
Well, what's on your agenda today, Stephen? What's up?
I'm just trying to get. I take it that you're not with this 14-point plan agreement thing, right?
I do not believe, as much as I want it to, I do not believe that this is going to end well.
I don't either. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I would almost bet my lucky ball cap that Israel is gonna ruin this whole thing, and it's almost like I think Trump has this set up to where this is kind of because I think Bibi's coming to the White House sometimes in the next few days to talk to Trump, and I think Trump's going to give him an ultimatum this time because they've been disobeying. You know, we've been trying to help them out, but they've been jumping the gun on us and they're ruining a lot of things. But I don't think Trump is. I think Trump is way smarter than. You know, I know he's a good guy. He wants to save people. He wants to change the world, make everything a better place, make Iran great again. But I just don't see it, man. This is not a regime change at all. Those same people are still in power over there. If it did anything, it proves that their proxies that are in Lebanon, they do control them. If we're not seeing any movement out of them right now, then, you know, it just proves what everybody else already knew. But at the same time, you know, this is not a regime change at all. So I disagree with Trump thinking that this is going to be okay. But then my last thought is I don't think he thinks it's going to last either. I think this is just a thing about Israel. What do you think on that?
So I do believe that Donald Trump went into this with the best interest of that region of the world and the best interest of the United States of America in mind. I do believe that he was convinced that this would be a 6 to 8 week operation. I think part of that was being convinced from Israel. I think part of it was our military leaders convinced him that the operation would not require boots on the ground, and it would be about 6 to 8 weeks. And I think the miscalculation involved, number one, we underestimated the resolve of the Iranian military forces, and we overestimated the willingness and the desire for the people of Iran to rise up and bring new leadership to power. And those two factors significantly altered the dynamic of our engagement. Thirdly, I don't know that we thought that the Iranians had quite the ability to shut down the Strait of Hormuz like they did. Otherwise, I think we would have done the blockade on the front end.
Yeah.
Now, what's going to happen, in my opinion, is the Iranians are going to allow Hezbollah and some of their other proxies to continue attacking Israel. And Israel is in a bad spot because Israel doesn't want to hurt whatever peace accord we're entering into. Yep. And I think Hezbollah and others will try to bait them into a response. And as soon as they respond, the Iranians will say, oh, it's off, it's over. But it's the Iranians that are promoting and funding the very response that they will claim broke the deal. Does that make sense? The Iranians have no interest. Look, they don't care how many of their people die. They obviously believe that this is a religious conflict they're engaged in. They are patient people. They look at our election cycle as a point of weakness. They understand that Donald Trump is softer in his negotiation position than he wants the rest of the world to believe because he's got to get gasoline prices under control. Now, gasoline prices are getting under control, and I do believe that this is the best resolution that we could possibly come to.
Right.
But, you know,
I don't know if it's softer, if Donald Trump is being a little softer or he's being a little smarter. That's the whole thing. I don't think anybody knows, but maybe a handful of people. But it is a good thing we're seeing the gas prices go back down. This is proof to everybody. Everybody in America is seeing it, and they're seeing prices drop now. So that's a great thing. But at the same time, you know, he comes out and he says, you know, if they mess up, we're just going to drop a bomb right smack down on their head. I mean, my decision would have been they should already be wiped out, man. We should let the people choose their leader. And until that happens, this is never going to be over.
Well, sadly, I don't, hindsight is obviously 20/20 here, Stephen, and thank you for the telephone call. And I'm going to get one more in here, and we might move Nick Boots to 605, just based on the importance of this conversation. Hindsight's 20/20, but I have spoken to several individuals within the military apparatus that were in charge of engaging, and I won't say more than that because I don't want to give up their anonymity, but I would say this. They were as frustrated as anyone over the ceasefire. They believed that we had them on the run and the ceasefire gave them the ability to reset, recoup, and reassess where they were and how to position themselves. And out of this quote-unquote ceasefire came what is ultimately a stalemate. Samantha has a different position and a different point of view. Hey, Samantha, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
All right. So I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I think that Trump is playing everyone. I think that if you're falling for the rhetoric, I think that you're falling for the messaging that's supposed to be fooling the regime. So I don't think that there ever was really a clash with Netanyahu and Trump. I think that they're both setting everything up so that they are not losing any political capital, because Bibi, he's, kind of under fire of like, oh, you're not doing enough. And of course, people are firing at Trump saying, you're doing too much. Like, this is awful. You're Bibi's puppet. And so all of this performative just posturing is basically Trump saying, see, look at me. I'm not at the whims of Israel because Israel is listening to me. And Netanyahu is saying, well, see, like, I want to do more, but, like, I can't. My hands are tied, is not letting just posturing is basically Trump saying, see, look at me. I'm not.
Hey, Samantha, we lost a little phone quality there. Are you still there? Hello?
Hey, yeah,
hey,
sorry,
I'm sorry
I don't
about
know
that.
what happened.
Yeah, no, that's all good. You're back. So what is the what? So if, let me presume. Well, no, I think I got it. That you believe that Trump is in concert with Benjamin Netanyahu playing this, so that he seems to be taking a softer stance here. Netanyahu is unable to take a harder line there. To what end? Like what is the end game?
So what I expect will happen is the IRGC will collapse because it's already doing that. The Iranian regime will fall with the help of its own people, and we'll know when that happens because His Royal Highness Reza Pahlavi will call upon the people. Netanyahu and Trump will then release a joint statement, revealing that it was all a calculated strategy, and a lot of this, that you're reading into this deal, the MOU, it's not even a deal yet. They haven't even, nothing is set in stone. What you're seeing there is actually how they're going to restructure the economy of a free Iran. Because they said, everybody's like freaking out about this $300 billion. Well, the $300 billion isn't in cash, and it's not going to be given to anybody until real, changes, behavioral changes are seen. And even if, in a world where Iran really tries to bend to the will of the United States, which they won't, because if they do, they're signing their own death warrant. Their people will rise up, or the regime supporters will eat their own. The Arab investors from the Gulf states, they're not going to just burn their money away. They're not going to dump $300 billion into a failing economy. So, I just really think that everybody is, freaking out. And there is a good reason to worry. A lot of serious things are happening right now. But I think that people are not, they're looking at what's being said.
Hold on a second. I'm not freaking out. I just don't see any of this.
Oh, no, I didn't mean.
No. And I understand that. But I don't speak for anybody else. I just speak for me. But,
for clarity.
I just don't see, you kind of jumped over the hinge point in your analysis when you said that the Revolutionary Guard is about to fall and the regime will topple and the people will rise up. I don't see any of that happening. I just don't see. I don't see any data suggesting that any of that's about to happen.
Are you familiar with the Immortal Guard?
The Immortal Guard.
Correct.
No.
So this is it's basically Iranian freedom fighters, and they have already started to gather and to plan. Obviously, I'm not privy to all of that information. The best I've got is that I'm aware of it, but for good reason. And again, like I said, this is I think that this is something that's being coordinated behind the scenes, that we're not meant to be privy to any of that for some very obvious sensitive reasons. But a big thing that I don't see a lot of main media, discussing is the revolt or the protests that are happening right now amongst the regime supporters, calling for not just the resignation, but also the deaths of Ghalibaf, Aragchi, probably Pezeshkian now too, because they did say, death to the negotiators, Matbao Stasichkal, death to those who negotiate. They're calling for the death of these people. So I really think that their days are numbered, and there's just a lot more going on in the country that obviously we cannot see because they're isolationists. They've kept everyone from seeing what's really going on, and they even have all these terrible
Look, I hope you're, Samantha.
Propaganda.
I hope you're right.
But
I don't see it. That's
fine. No, that's fine. That's fine. I will just say to all the viewers, and even to you yourself, I would highly recommend looking into and following different Iranians that are very familiar with the way that the regime works. Armin Navabi is a great one. Goldi Gamari is another great one. Mahyar Tusi. These are all wonderful Iranian people who, not just are more attuned with what's going on, but they also, some of them even have people inside that are telling them this. So,
here's all I will ask. That if you turn out to be right, call us back and I will sing your praises and I will bow before your intelligence.
I most definitely will. What is your name, sir? I'm a new viewer.
My name is Matt Murphy. MATTMURPHY.
It's wonderful to speak to you.
But Samantha, I do not. I think I am wistfully thinking or hoping that you are correct. But I do not.
Right. Like I said, it's an unpopular opinion.
I don't think it's unpopular. I just think it's
following this. I
just don't think the imminent fall of the Iranian regime is grounded in reality right now.
Really? They're the weakest they've ever been.
No.
They are the weakest they have ever been.
Well,
not just militarily, but even just
we saw the January uprising, and we're seeing none of that today. And maybe there's a reason for that. I don't know, but look, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. We'll see.
Well, it's because Reza Pahlavi, and okay, I'm so sorry. I know you want to go, but I want to share.
No, I've got to go in like 20 seconds. So go ahead.
I don't know if you saw this, but at the beginning of the uprising, there was Trump and Pahlavi had hacked the national the state TV in Iran. So if they can do that, I mean, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. Look for that video footage if you can, because I've seen it and it's great.
Samantha, thank you for the call. You keep listening, you keep watching, and we'll see. I just don't see it. I don't see. I understand that. I'm hopeful that you're right. I do not see it supported by evidence. It's 55 after the hour on Super Talk. Affordable, convenient, comprehensive medicine at a direct pay primary care provider. That's Grace Point Healthcare. All treatment decisions are made between you and the medical staff. They do not allow the insurance company in the room with you. Why would they? You don't want them in there. They're not acting in your best interest. They're acting in their best interest. And the doctors at Grace Point Healthcare, well, they're only going to act in yours. So they treat the whole body with a comprehensive medical approach, getting to the root of the problem and not just treating the symptoms. They're located over in Franklin. 599-6868 is their telephone number. 599-6868. It's Grace Point Healthcare. Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. Ask them about the Smart Care Plan. If you're not feeling well, you don't have to wait. You don't wait weeks on end to get an appointment scheduled, and you don't wait in the waiting rooms. They do not believe in it at Grace Point. Grace Point Healthcare. Once again, modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. Hey friends, Matt Murphy here for Cover Nash. If you're tired of a health insurance program or policy that feels like a mathematics exam, Cover Nash is your company. If you don't understand your current policy and you're just at a loss, Cover Nash and Shane Ring, you need to give him a call. Shane Ring is your personal healthcare concierge when it comes to any and all questions you have about your health insurance policy. And if you're concerned that you're paying too much and you're not getting enough, you need to call Shane Ring and Cover Nash. He is your concierge. He can help you understand exactly what your policy does and does not do. You don't have to play by Washington's rules. At Cover Nash, they can help you cut your cost, keep your doctor, keep your hospital, skip the government red tape. That's what it's all about. If you're self-employed, uninsured, or just tired of paying too much, it's time for Cover Nash, right? 615-465-0023, 465-0023, or online at covernash.com.
Six o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Everyone in Middle Tennessee under a level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather. The highest risk, it's going to be a level 2. That's going to be east and northeast of Nashville. We're looking at this until about 9 o'clock tonight, but so far we haven't had anything severe. We might have had some lightning strikes, some thunder here, some heavy rain at times, but nothing severe at this time. Let's hope it stays that way. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Meanwhile, Leslie Lopez tells us folks in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia are bracing for potentially deadly flooding from the remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur.
It's really rare, too. We're talking about a 4 out of 4 level threat. This means that we could see as much as 6 inches of rainfall rates. That's a lot of rain in a short amount of time. 10 to 20 inches possible out of this. And this happens to be an area that we have seen 80% of flood-related damage historically in this area in the United States, along with 1/3 of flood-related deaths. So when we say you have to heed all warnings, really do so. This is a dangerous situation.
Well, today the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that a longstanding federal gun ban for people who use a controlled substance illegally is unconstitutional. The case stems from a plaintiff who owned a gun in Texas and admitted to using marijuana several times a week. We get more from ABC's Devin Dwyer.
Gorsuch said the decision was narrow. It leaves untouched aspects of the law that continue to ban addicts of controlled substances, people who are high on those substances, people who are deemed a danger to themselves or others. They are all still prohibited under federal law from having a gun.
At the White House press briefing today, Vice President Vance defended the agreement with Iran.
You know, I've seen skeptics of the deal. People say the Iranians will never change their behavior. Well, maybe that's true, and if so, they don't get any of the benefits of the bargain. But isn't it worth trying?
Key NATO allies have welcomed the deal to stop the war in Iran, but War Secretary Pete Hegseth has called those same allies shameful for not supporting the war more fully and announced a review to examine the level of U.S. support to NATO. Here in Middle Tennessee, Murfreesboro leaders have approved a $782 million budget aimed at keeping up with rapid growth without raising property taxes. Mayor Shane McFarland telling News Channel 5 public safety is a top priority with plans to add police officers.
Our year over year, and even looking at a 10-year average, our crime rate is significantly down. Property theft and car theft is down 50% from where it was last year.
Also going to be a new fire station in West Murfreesboro. Infrastructure improvements also in focus. Though many key roads in Murfreesboro, all those that back up, they're controlled by the state. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, got a list of crashes to go down here. We got Jolton, 24 westbound between New Hope Road, exit 31, and Springfield Ashland City Highway, exit 24. Charlotte Pike, an accident at Charlotte Pike and Osceola Avenue. BNA, an injury wreck, Donaldson Pike at I-40. Then 440 eastbound at 24. Murfreesboro, stalled vehicle, left shoulder block, 24 eastbound at I-840. Ellington Parkway northbound just past Trinity Lane, and then Antioch Pike at Nolensville Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is a Thursday edition of the Matt Murphy Show. Final hour right now. 7 minutes past 6 o'clock. I am in a lot of trouble. I'm in a spot of bother, man, because I have moved nincompoops in the news twice this week, and the audience is not too amused. As a matter of fact, several of our audience members have super texted me and indicated that they have to work at 6 o'clock, and they depend on nincompoops in the news before they go into the office. And I have denied them of that opportunity for 2 days this week, and I apologize. I'm sorry. I am just, I don't know what to say. I'll try to do better. All I can do is offer you this as an opportunity for our 6 o'clock listeners to enjoy what our 5 o'clock listeners always enjoy, and that is nincompoops in the news. I'm ready. Y'all ready? Ken, you ready? Ken back there?
I'm ready.
Ken's ready. RJ's ready.
Nincompoops in the news.
Big voice guy's ready. We look all over this state of Tennessee, the volunteer state. We look all across these United States of America.
Nay, the globe.
You heard the man. Nay, the globe. We're going to look through the globe. We're going to find nincompoops as they live and breathe, and we present them to you, and you get to vote. 615-737-9986. You can vote for RJ. You can vote for Ken Weaver. You can vote for Matt Murphy. It's friendly today, boys.
Hey, help RJ keep getting wins. Let's go.
Let's make that happen. All right, in the absence of young Jackson Williams, I will set the batting order. The batting order will go this way.
All right.
Ken Weaver gets to go first.
Yay!
RJ gets to go second.
Woohoo!
Matt Murphy will be last, or as Jackson likes to say, I will be in the rear. Isn't that what he says?
He says you're coming up the rear.
I think he says it more like, Matt Murphy's in the rear.
That's fair.
Bringing up the rear or something like that.
Matt Murphy in the rear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ken, let's talk about that nincompoop of yours. What's up?
All right, boys. This here's out of Pasco Point, Florida. The Florida Highway Patrol said that a state trooper arrested a 33-year-old man on DUI charges over the weekend. Authorities say he was driving more than 90 miles per hour on I-75 there in Pasco County. When a trooper pulled him over and took a peek inside the car, he said he spotted 34 open cans of White Claw, a hard seltzer beverage. Officials said his blood alcohol content was more than twice the legal limit. He was taken to the Pasco County Jail, booked on a DUI charge, and I bet you he needed a whole bottle of Pepto-Bismol the next morning after that.
Wait, 34.
34 open cans of White Claw.
Well, Ken, were they empty?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of White Claw.
Well, if they're open, I'm assuming they're empty because you don't want that White Claw getting around.
Oh. Can you imagine how that smelled in that area? Ugh.
I lived in a frat house with guys that drank White Claw. I know how bad that smelled.
Oh my! You didn't do it, did you, RJ? Did you drink that stuff?
Did you drink that White Claw, brother,
you drank it, didn't you?
I only drank it when they had leftover because that's free alcohol and you don't turn that down.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. I will. I'll drink a White Claw if somebody gives it to me. How about you, Ken?
Yeah. I mean,
come on.
If I'm out fishing or something that, and somebody, hey, you want a cold White Claw? I'll say,
I suppose so.
You got an IPA? No, just White Claw. I'll say, okay, give me the White Claw.
Yeah. You got no. See, I would go a little deeper. You got an IPA? No. You got a regular PA? No. You got some vodka? No. You got some moonshine liquor? No. You got rock gut? No. You got toilet liquor? No. All right, give me the White Claw.
All right, give me the White Claw.
I'll take the White Claw.
I would take it a step further and say, you got water? No. Give me the White Claw.
Yeah. You got a Zima? I used to love Zima.
Zima was a refreshing drink.
I was a big fan of Zima, and everybody, you put Jolly Rancher. No, I didn't put Jolly Ranchers in my Zima. I drank it straight.
I bet you a lot of people didn't even know it was alcoholic.
Let me tell you something.
Learned.
The Zima gets a rap of being sweet. It was not as sweet as some of these other things that are coming out today. It was crisp. It was citrusy. It was delicious. And I make no bones about the fact that I loved it. And I wish it was still here. How about that?
It went away, didn't it?
It did. Yeah. They brought it back. I went through an era, though, Ken. They brought it back for a hot minute. I think somebody bought it and they tried to revitalize it. And some folks bought it. Most of the people that bought it in Birmingham, Alabama, you know who they bought it for?
Who?
Me. I
got you a sixer of some Zima.
I had at one point, I had like 7 6-packs of Zima that listeners brought me and left.
Good grief.
I mean, my love of Zima is well established. If y'all have any in the garage, let me know. I'd love some right now. Zima was out when Crystal Pepsi was out. It was a good way of hiding the Zima. That's well spoken.
All those newfangled things.
Oh yeah, I heard a little birdie told me that. I can't say, but we just mentioned Crystal Pepsi. When what might happen happens at some point down the road, you're going to remember that I said something about Crystal Pepsi on this June 18th, 2026. All right, that's all I'm going to say about that.
All right,
RJ.
Yes'm.
You're an nincompoop, sir.
All right. So I've got another story out of Florida, and it's titled The Florida Jello Shot 911 Call.
Okay.
So in a town of Ocala, Florida, a 68-year-old woman named Diane Blaylock, I think is how you're pronouncing that name, was arrested by deputies because she called 911 after a bar refused to give her a Jello shot. This happened at the Nowhere Bar on Southwest 27th Avenue in Ocala, and according to local reports, she called 911 several times asking for law enforcement to come and help her get the alcohol.
Goodness.
Upon them coming to the bar, they found out that she had been permanently banned from this bar with an indefinite trespass, and then a search of her after arresting her found marijuana and 2 pipes in her purse.
Yeah, well,
she was high on top of everything.
Sure. Well, yes. But what if one pipe fails?
Well, one pipe might break, yeah.
You got a contingency plan.
Yes, sir.
You got to have the backup pipe.
Backup pipe.
If the Hobbit taught me anything, always bring a second pipe.
Well, fair. Yeah.
She was charged with misuse of 911 services, trespassing, and possession of more than 20 grams of marijuana.
That's a lot of pot.
All over a Jello shot.
Little Jello shots.
Yeah.
Who? Hey, didn't they? Hey, Ken, the Sooners winning that Jello? That Jello shot challenge they do out there in Omaha.
Yeah.
I bet the Sooners are winning that.
Well, apparently, former football coaches Bob Stoops and Barry Switzer were taking Jello shots.
Oh, were they?
Yes. Coach Switzer is like 81 years old.
Man, oh man, and he's pounding them down. Those Jello, boy, those Jello.
If that was the case, if that's true, what I saw, Coach Switzer had a couple of Jello shots with Bob Stoops.
When's the last time you fellas had some Jello shots?
I've
been a minute.
I've never had a Jello.
You've
shot.
never had a Jello shot, Ken?
No.
A couple weeks ago for me.
There you go. I wouldn't pass one up. I mean,
I guess I'd take one.
Oh, sure. Man, the flavors are delicious, and the alcohol will pop on you. I mean, it'll hit. You better be home.
Yeah, there's a really nice place in Printers Alley that does them.
They do. Oh, well, there you go.
I can't think of the name of it, but it's like a karaoke bar.
Young RJ. Showing us the sights around Printers Alley.
Go there, sing some songs, and knock back some Jello shots.
Take a Waymo home or something.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't drive through a construction zone.
Or a puddle. I get confused about puddles. The Transportation Security Administration is sharing words of wisdom for World Cup tourists who might want to take home bottles of ranch from America. You see, many European tourists have been documenting their first ever trip to the good old US of A this month, and they're supporting their home nations in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. In the process, international soccer fans have discovered their love of ranch dressing.
It's good stuff.
It's great stuff.
It's nectar of the gods.
It is. Well, with this in mind, the TSA has reinforced its limitation on how much liquid can be stored in carry-on baggage, as it predicts an uptick in people attempting to carry bottles of ranch dressing home with them. The TSA actually put this out in an Instagram post. Who knew diplomacy
that's clever.
Could be achieved through addressing the obvious. Ranch is the king of condiments. The world is discovering ranch pairs perfectly with pizza, chicken wings, fries, onion rings, quesadillas, crackers, chips, veggies, and the list keeps growing. You can put ranch on anything.
You can. I put it on pizza.
Oh, Ken.
Yeah.
Didn't know you were a man of culture.
Oh, come on.
I dip it right in it.
The company, the organization, the TSA, says, are you kicking around the idea of flying home with your favorite new dip? Understand that we mandate all liquids be in carry-on luggage, including shampoo, conditioner, and sauces, have to be in containers that are 3.4 ounces or less. The post includes multiple jokes about tourists loving the dressing that they've now had in America. Please, says the TSA, avoid chugging your ranch outside of security. The airlines have availability to check it for you. Your carry-on was not made for ranch, 4 bottles of ranch, or anything other than what you're legally allowed to carry. So apparently there is a love of ranch that the Europeans have found, which this begs the question. By the way, the TSA, y'all are a bunch of nincompoops for feeling the need to post this. TSA is my nincompoop. But I will ask this question. If I told you, Ken Weaver and RJ, you have one condiment, you only get one condiment for the rest of your life, what condiment you going with? One for the I'm going to go ahead with my answer. Mustard.
Mustard? Okay.
I'm going mustard. Ranch would probably be a very close second, but one condiment, mustard is just. I love mustard so much. I eat mustard on all potato items. I could literally put mustard on a baked potato and enjoy it. So I am a big fan of mustard. Mine would be mustard.
I got to say the spicy ketchup from Whataburger.
Spicy ketchup. So
Yes.
specifically, a specific type of ketchup.
Yes, that one specific type of ketchup.
Okay.
If you haven't tried it, it's really good.
I don't think I have.
Yep, you got to go. Ask them for the spicy ketchup. They'll give it to you.
Weaver, what do you got?
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. Yeah, see, I love some mayonnaise too.
I'll dip anything in it.
Boy, oh boy. And you know what? You got mayonnaise and you got a few other spices. You can make your own dang ranch.
You can make whatever you want with it.
That's fair, but I'm still going with delicious mustard. All right, that's how we play Nincompoops in the News. You can vote early, vote often. You can vote Weaver if you want. You can vote for RJ. You can vote for Matt Murphy. It's 19 after the hour. We're going to take a short time out. When we return, I will tell you. Thank you. Oh, there you go. I like that. Thank you, RJ.
Of course, my pleasure.
A minor league baseball team has had their game canceled because of Pride Night. We will discuss that. And there is a report out of the United Kingdom that is very, very disturbing. We've talked about it briefly on the show, and I'm going to detail it for you a little bit in a more lengthy fashion coming up in just a couple of minutes. But right now, vote early, vote often on Nincompoops in the News. 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986, RJ or Ken or Matt Murphy. It is 20 after the hour on Superdog 99.7 WTN.
Vote RJ.
United Structural Systems is not just a repair company. They are your local foundation and waterproofing experts. They've been trusted in Middle Tennessee since 1994 with good reason. They've been doing the job the right way since that time. They don't try to upsell you on anything. They identify problems. They solve problems before they become worse for you, your family, and your home. 30,000 local homeowners and growing have trusted USS. That experience means they've seen just about every type of problem imaginable, and they understand the state of Tennessee. Foundation settlement, basement water intrusion, crawl space moisture issues, all are an issue for us in Middle Tennessee. There's no guesswork with USS, just expert diagnosis from people who understand Tennessee homes. Plus, did you know that there's a transferable lifetime warranty on all the service that they perform with USS? Local service, long-term protection. You're not just getting repairs, you're getting true peace of mind. Of course, they're A+ rated with the BBB. Give them a call. Start your journey by going to USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com. Book your free home inspection. Problem solvers, experienced, local. USS. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Continue your voting. Voting will be open until 6:30 or when Ken Weaver's newscast starts, whichever comes last. Lots of votes coming in for RJ, Ken, and yours truly, and lots of you indicating your favorite condiment as well. People saying try mayo on Cheeto Poofs. Okay. I mean, I'm down for it. Sure.
Interesting combo.
Not just any mayo, JFG. My grandma only allowed JFG in her house. And she was very strict on. I mean, I say only allowed in your house. I mean, if you brought some different mayonnaise, she'd let you in. But in terms of what she bought for the house, there was only JFG. Also, we grew up in Thompson, Georgia, Thomson, no P in Thompson, which is, Georgia is Coca-Cola country. And my grandmother was a Pepsi-Cola girl, a Pepsi-Cola woman, and did not buy Coca-Cola products and would not. And she was a little more strict on allowing Coca-Cola products in the house. She didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. Pepsi-Cola hit the spot. 12 full ounces, that's a lot. Twice as much for a nickel, too. Pepsi-Cola's the one for you.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, sure. You got to mix ranch with sriracha. Okay. All right. Sure. I'll give anything a go once. That's what I'm here for. All right. So this story about the minor league baseball team is pretty impressive. So if you have not heard about the San Francisco Giants, the San Francisco Giants decided that they were going to have a Pride Night. And they had hats available for their team. Now, there are mixed reports indicating that some within the baseball organization were given an opportunity to wear a different type of hat, their standard hat, but the hat that they were supposed to wear for Pride Night had the rainbow flag, the gay pride flag on it. Well, a couple of San Francisco Giant players have just all right, my computer's not working anymore. A couple of San Francisco Giants players decided to put Bible verses on their hats, and they were, quote unquote, warned by the team and warned by Major League Baseball that was not permitted. So you are forcing individuals into a dynamic by which they have to. Okay, that's interesting. I just got informed by Twitter that I don't have any posts. Okay,
you have no posts.
That's what it says. So I put up. Oftentimes, what I do is that's a little frightening.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Matt Murphy has deleted Twitter.
I apparently I'm just going to log out and see what happens, and see if I can get it via my phone, because I post some of these stories on Twitter on the X machine, and something is wrong with the X machine. Posts are not loading right now. Oh, but I do have. Oh, this is good. Maybe I can. Oh yeah, here we go. I've got the story though. Thank goodness. Minor league. So San Francisco Giants and the Major League Baseball itself warned, quote unquote, warned the players that Bible verses would not be permitted. So they're pushing upon us. This is you must wear the ribbon come full circle in real life. You remember the Seinfeld episode? You must wear the ribbon. You must wear the. So it's not enough that you support the cause. It's not enough that you're like, whatever, live and let live. I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap. I've said it 100 times and I'll say it 100 more. I do not care what law-abiding citizens do in the privacy of their own home. As long as you are consenting adults, it is none of my business. That is between you and your maker, not between me, and it shouldn't be between you and the government. Now, there are other aspects of that and other aspects of society that we have to talk about, with regard to foster families, adoption, these types of things that might impact or affect other people. But as far as your life and the way that you live your life and your sexuality, that is your business, not mine. Don't throw it in the faces of our kids and we'll be fine. Because I don't want any sexuality thrown in the faces of our children. But now we've gotten to a point where it's not enough to say, fine, whatever, have your pride parade. I don't care. I won't attend. You're being forced to attend. It's not enough to say, okay, that's cool. I'm good with it. You have to wear the ribbon. You must wear the ribbon. Remember this? You must wear the ribbon. Well, who won't wear the ribbon? Who will not? I won't wear the ribbon. Well, the York Revolution, a minor league baseball team in Pennsylvania, said they're not wearing the ribbon. On the heels of Major League Baseball making what I consider to be a major gaffe, and that is dictating to Christian-based belief players who are Christian, who are people of faith, who believe that homosexuality is a sin, that it is wrong. And they are perfectly within their right to have that belief and should not be discriminated against because they have that belief. And if they don't want to participate in Pride Night, they shouldn't be forced to participate in Pride Night. Minor League Baseball team York Revolution in Pennsylvania declined to play its Pride Night game today after players refused to wear uniforms that featured a rainbow design. I'll give more on that in just a moment. It is 6:30. It is time for the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I tell you often about Defend Systems and Brink Fiddler, who owns and operates Defend Systems. They are a life safety and security consultation firm based right here in Middle Tennessee. They're here to help you, to protect your loyal employees at your place of business, the kids at the school, your employees at the school, or at the church. Wherever people gather, they're there for you to prevent active shooter and to teach you how to respond to said same if it happens. Security improvement consultation, emergency and intruder action plan. But did you know that DEFEND actually stands for something? It is deter, evade, fortify, evaluate, notify, and defend. These concepts are the backbone of what Brink Fiddler teaches you in class regarding what to do in the unlikely event that something should happen in your workplace, in your place of business. This also helps you with regard to medical training because you're provided valuable medical information as to what to do in the case of finding someone in a medical emergency. It's all about being prepared, folks. Hope is not a plan. It's time to get trained with Defend Systems. Call today, 615-236-6484, 236-6484, or online at defendsystems.com, defendsystems.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm going to continue with the Pride Night story in a moment. By the way, I'm giving it to you, RJ. It's a really razor thin margin of victory for Ken Weaver on the super text line, but you won the YouTube chat, and your victory in the YouTube chat secures a victory for RJ today. Woo! Speech.
What was that?
I said speech. You going to give a speech?
Sure. I want to thank everybody in the YouTube chat who comes out to support me. I know many of y'all do it because I interact with all of you whenever I fill in. And, I love servicing the community and making all of your voices heard. I'm happy to be your representative.
That's a great speech. That's a good one. There you go, RJ. He's sending us off on the weekend. But there's a big debate going on right now because I referred to ranch dressing as a condiment. Mm-hmm. And 3774 says ranch isn't a condiment, it's a dressing. There's a difference. And I said, well, yeah, but it's also a dip. And 3774 said, okay, that's true. But then there are a couple of other people saying, well, ranch is widely considered to be a condiment.
Yes, if it's something you put on food, it's a condiment.
Yeah, I understand that it originated as a salad dressing.
Exactly.
But it graduated.
Yes. It got to sit at the big condiments table.
Yeah, and ranch is possibly the most popular condiment. I would say it's the most popular condiment in the United States of America, wouldn't you?
There are whole social media accounts dedicated to ranch, so checkmate other condiments.
Yeah, sure. I think it's a condiment. All right, so as the story goes, the minor league baseball team canceled their Pride Night because the players refused to wear the jerseys, several of them. Minor league baseball's York Revolution in Pennsylvania declined to play its Pride Night game this Thursday, today, after players refused to wear uniforms that featured a rainbow design. The Revolution's game against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs was to have marked the team's 11th annual Pride Night, but players refused to don special jerseys that had rainbow sleeves on them. Thursday night's game is going down as a forfeit, according to the Revolution. The decision was not reached lightly, the team said in a statement. President and GM Ben Shipley said his manager told him Tuesday that fewer than 9 players on the 28-man roster, the minimum needed to fill out a lineup card, were willing to play in Thursday night's uniforms. Shipley said the discussion led to an unprecedented team meeting at which he was unable to talk players into wearing the rainbow sleeves. I'm disappointed we're at this point. I recognize the players' plight and their unwillingness to cross their line. I also think tolerance is not acceptance. But that's not what you're asking them to do, sir. You're demanding that they participate in the activity. If they have a fundamental religion-based belief, then you should give them an out here. They're not there. They're there to play baseball. They're not there to support any agenda. They're not there to support any sexuality. And they're certainly not there to violate their basic religious beliefs. Shipley said, tolerance is not acceptable. You're not asking for tolerance. I guarantee you that every one of those players, if you said, you get to wear your normal uniform, the other guys are going to wear the rainbow uniforms and we'll be fine, they would have been fine with that. But that's not what you're asking for. I was just asking for tolerance from the team, and they were unwilling to navigate that with me. The spirit of Pride Night would have been compromised, he said, had players been forced to wear uniforms that celebrated the community, the Revolution said. Unfortunately, several of our players have refused to wear the scheduled Pride Night jersey, and the club decided that hosting the event was more important than forcing players to wear jerseys they're not comfortable with and playing the game. What? You're not forcing them to do anything. Let them wear the normal uniform, bub. See, this sounds like, oh, wonderful for the player. And the players, good for them for standing their ground. But the team completely punted. You can hold all of your little ceremony. You can hold your Pride Night events, which apparently were very important to them, and just let them wear their normal uniforms. What's wrong with that? Instead, according to the ownership, as a result, out of respect for the Pride community and the York community as a whole, the York Revolution has decided the game on Thursday, June 18, will be forfeited, and that Pride Night will continue on as the featured element of the evening. Other Pride Night events are still set to go on as scheduled at the ballpark free of charge, including music, fan batting practice, and other on-field activities. The team is set to return to action tomorrow against Southern Maryland. Team officials criticized their own players for refusing to, quote, celebrate the LGBTQ community. To be clear, this action by the players is completely inconsistent with our vision as a most welcoming place in York. Well, apparently you're not welcoming for those of a Christian faith. You're not welcoming those who have a different viewpoint. We have completely turned this on its head. There was a time when gay people would say to me and others, I just want to be treated equally. I just don't want to be judged based on my own sexuality. I just want to live my life of my choosing and have equal rights like everybody else. And you know what I argued? For 26 years, I've argued, I'm fine with that. I don't care. I'm fine with that. You want a piece of paper? You want to live with somebody with a piece of paper saying that's fine. I believe marriage is a union that is certified by God Almighty. I don't think the state should have anything to do with it, but it does, and so be it. Fine. If you want the state to give you a piece of paper, that's fine with me. I don't care. But now you are encroaching on the religious beliefs of individuals, demanding that they participate. I mean, this is very similar to the Colorado cake baker story, where there is no harm. The gay couple goes into a bakery, says, hey, we want a cake to celebrate the ceremony of our union. We're a gay couple. And the Christian baker says, you know what? God bless you. More power to you. I'm probably not for you. I'm a Christian baker. It is against my religious beliefs to engage or participate in the ceremony. There's plenty of other bakers out there. I wish you well. And they were like, no, we're not going to another baker. We're not having someone else bake our cake. You must bake our cake. So you understand the difference? The difference between having accommodations versus demanding that I acquiesce and bend the knee to your beliefs, your cultural norms? No, I'm not doing that. And nor should these players do that. And somehow the team ownership turns the players into the bad guy when, by the way, as a team owner, you're the bad guy. You should have given accommodation to your faith-based players, and you did not do so. And because of that, people are denied the opportunity to watch a baseball game, and you are saddled with a loss or a forfeit as a result. It's ridiculous.
And you're losing business.
I mean, it's just – so kudos to the players. Good for them. Good for these players out in San Francisco. Once again, I don't care, and I've said for a long time now, I don't understand the demand that you and I and others participate in any and all of these events. And oh, by the way, look, I'm not being flip when I say this. I'm genuine when I tell you this. That I was told and I accepted the idea because my faith, I am led by my faith. But your faith and my faith might not overlap or overlay. And I recognize in a freedom-loving society that you have the ability to worship as you choose. You have the ability to not worship at all as you choose. So when you come to me and say, hey, I'm gay and I want to be accepted in society, I'm like, that's fine, whatever. And then you tell me, well, this wasn't a choice. Repeatedly, gay people told me that. And you know what? I'm fine with that too. That's fine. But now you're telling me that you demand that I bow before the celebration of something that you have told me for the last 35 years wasn't a choice. What are you celebrating? Well, at some point, I imagine you were celebrating the fact that you had to be in a closet and you were subjugated upon and, homosexuality was illegal and now it's not. Well, that time's over. Guess what? You have equal rights. You won. Now go on home. Go on home. We only give our veterans a day and you get a month? Nah, I don't think so.
And aren't these also the same people, correct me if I'm wrong, who say that we're intrinsically bad people because you're white and you're Christian?
Yeah. That's right. Also, things that are beyond our well, at least the white part beyond our control. I just look. I'm just here to watch a baseball game, and I don't know of anyone within the gay community that is being subjugated or feels the need to be in the club. I mean, I just it's 2026. Yeah, this is not 1986. And this idea that I must participate it runs afoul of my strong belief that I shouldn't be forced to participate in anything that I'm uncomfortable participating with or in, regardless of how strongly you feel about it. It's 48 after the hour. Chicago should have learned from Jussie Smollett. Remember Jussie Smollett? He's the actor that wanted to become even more famous, and boy, did he. He decided that he was going to fake an attack against him, that two MAGA hat-wearing folk put a noose around his neck and told him that the middle of Chicago was MAGA country, and it was all staged. It was all phony. It was so easy to see. Jussie Smollett should have been ridiculed, lambasted. Instead, he was somehow treated like a victim by mainstream liberal media. Well, apparently Chicago has not learned their lesson from Jussie Smollett. I'll tell you what I mean in a moment. There was a cross burning in Chicago. And immediately you can guess who they blamed for the cross burning. And it did not turn out the way they thought it would. It's 49 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for U.S. Pest. J.K. and Erica Brister love the United States of America. They wave that flag proudly at their home. They wave that flag proudly at every billboard that you see with U.S. Pest on the marquee. And they love this country. And I tell you what, they love every aspect about it, except maybe for the bugs, because they don't like bugs very much at U.S. Pest, and I don't either. All of these bugs, it's bug season, right? Fleas and ticks are in wild abundance in the yard. And if you're frustrated because the pets are bringing some of those in the house, ask them about a yard treatment with U.S. Pest. They can get into your crawl spaces, and they can eliminate the pest, all of that bugs you, that bring those rodent-borne diseases or those bug-related diseases and nastiness and health-related issues into the home. You need to eliminate that out of your life with U.S. Pest. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee on pest control, on termite protection, on crawl space service at U.S. Pest. Go to uspest.com to find out more. That's uspest.com. Or better yet, give them a call. Tell them I sent you to U.S. Pest. You'll be happy you did. 590-1260. That number again, 590-1260 for our friends at U.S. Pest. Online, uspest.com. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Epic healing for an epic civilization. That's what Dr. Kevin Mitchell wants you to know about the Wellness Institute of Nashville. They've got an epic spinal special going on as well, $33 off every visit. They've got brand new technologies like the HydroWave, the Medical Bay 1, which is incredible. The Wellness Institute has done it again. Nobody can touch this doctor on healing and technology. Dr. Mitchell wants to make sure that you heal without needing surgery, injections, or painkillers, and no downtime. The futuristic healing machine known as Medical Bay 1 massages your body while doing full-body laser treatments, including red light, near-infrared. It also adds stem cell stimulation for tissue regeneration and uses photons of wavelength for ultimate healing. This is an experience that you have to see, you have to experience for yourself to understand, because it accelerates healing and it makes you feel better. And friends, this has my seal of approval. I want you to get to the Wellness Institute of Nashville. If you are in pain, anywhere you're in pain, allow them to help. Painisbad.com is the website, painisbad.com, because, pain is bad. Or call 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009 for our friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We are, or I am, participating this Saturday in an event called the Bubba. And I want to thank our good friend Keith from over at Contours LLC for making us aware of this event and for inviting Chad Benson and myself to participate in it. It's the 23rd Memorial Golf Tournament called the Bubba, which was established in well, I guess this says 2000, so that would be more than 23rd. One way or the other, just to let you know a little bit about it, Jerry Carter Stevenson was a man who positively impacted everyone who knew him. This is the story of the legacy of generosity, community, and impact. Most people knew him as a fun-loving FedEx driver that they called Bubba. At the age of 36, Bubba was diagnosed with cancer, and he fought courageously but eventually passed away, but his story didn't end there. His passion for helping others inspired the creation of the Bubba Stevenson Foundation, allowing his legacy of generosity and kindness to continue. Every year, the Bubba Memorial Golf Tournament brings together friends, family, community members who believe in small acts of kindness and making a lasting difference. Donations, volunteer efforts, and community partnerships. Through all of these, the Bubba continues to support families and children throughout Middle Tennessee. And I'm just so their impact, they've raised over $2 million, serving 14,000 families. They have no administration cost. They support children. They distribute books and toys, help families in need over the holidays and otherwise. And, you know, just are truly a great and wonderful community-based organization. This is out in Dixon, happening over the weekend, Saturday morning. And I'm just pleased to be a part of the team, and I appreciate them inviting us. I appreciate being a part of it. I appreciate Keith and his team over at Contours LLC making us aware that all of this is going on. All right, real quick, Chicago cross burning. So you would think that Chicago has learned their lesson. I don't mean to laugh, but you know, a burning cross was found at a Chicago park last week. And the media just immediately descended. The Democrats immediately ascended, and they said, oh, we know who's responsible. The Associated Press. A large burning cross, a historic symbol of hate and intimidation against black Americans, was discovered at a Chicago park where former President Barack Obama famously delivered his acceptance speech when he was elected the nation's first black president. You know, so you frame it up that way, right? Governor J.B. Pritzker said while speaking at a Push Coalition conference the next day, the fact that this occurred at all speaks to what has happened when the seeds of racism and fascism grow unchecked in our country. So given how Governor Pritzker has compared Trump to the Nazi regime, and Democrats writ large have accused Republicans of being fascist, Pritzker, you know, I guess was essentially blaming Republicans. Well, here's the problem. The individual responsible for the burning cross in the tree in Grant Park, after an investigation was launched, they discovered that Merlin Liu, a University of Illinois Chicago student, was responsible. And he has now stated that he lit the cross in Grant Park to protest Donald J. Trump. Liu told NBC5 that he, quote, knew about the historical relevance beforehand, but I didn't know the severity. I didn't realize that racial motivation would be gleaned from my effort. My protest has nothing to do with race. It is against Trump. Also, it should have been noted that a MAGA hat was found on top of the cross. Oh, but don't let the truth get in the way of a good story, right? And the story takes up legs, and, you know, before the truth, what is the old saying that a lie has gone 10 miles down the road before the truth can get up and put its shoes on? That is often, sadly, the case. That's going to wrap it up for us. Thanks to RJ for the good work done today. Thank you to Ken Weaver for all of the good work you do. Once again, we're out tomorrow. Was going to work tomorrow, but it's a company holiday, and we were asked to take the day, and so we will. Enjoy the best of festivities. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you live and in person Monday afternoon at 3 p.m. Until then, for RJ, for Ken Weaver and the rest of the crew, have a wonderful evening. Hug your loved ones. So long, everybody.